On the call. Bill, good afternoon.
Beautiful afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. And let's hope that it's an even more fruitful afternoon.
That's right.
Come 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock when we put another W behind the Otters record.
Or we can get out at 3:30. Wouldn't that be nice?
What else am I going to do if we get out of here at 3:30? Supper's not until 5, so what do I do?
Go see a movie.
You mean go to a movie or watch it on TV?
Either or.
Well, I don't go to the movies anymore.
Why not? They got the nice recliner chairs.
Well, I'm used to paying 25 cents to go to the movies, and now it's like $5 or $10.
10 or 13, depending on
really?
where you are. Yeah.
Okay, I can't afford that.
No, neither can I. Well, then again, I can every once in a while. The important thing is that, unlike Friday, the Otters were able to score early and often. Last night, they scored 2 in the first, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and a large in part to Ryan Long, who had 4 RBIs last night.
Well, you hit it on the head. I mean, last night we started that game with Mr. Cronin getting on, and then all of a sudden here comes Mr. Reliable, Mr. Ryan Long, and he gets that base hit, and here before you know it, we got ourselves a run, and then all of a sudden, I guess that exploded Ryan's balloon inside, and then he come up the next time and hit that beautiful triple to left center, and 2 runs scored. Then he come up later and he hit another single. He drove the run in between first and second. He got another RBI. So he ended up with 4 hits and 4 RBIs. I mean, that's a pretty good day.
Yeah, 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs, 3 singles and a triple. And if you think about it, he probably could have had a double last night, too. And then he would have been 1 hit short of the cycle.
Right. And I don't remember anyone hitting the cycle in my memory here with the Otters.
You said Josh Allen was close?
Josh Allen had the opportunity. He had a home run. He had a triple. He had a single. And then in the game, he had a shot. He had a shot, and I don't remember, left center, right center, whatever it was. It was extra bases. He went to third.
Right.
So he ended up with a home run, 2 triples, and a single. And I kept saying, well, I would have stopped at second. In other words, then I would have had the cycle. But he didn't. He got 2 triples.
Got it.
But that's the only time I can remember anyone coming close. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying I don't remember.
Right. Well, not only did Ryan have a big day, but I think the bottom of the lineup produced last night. That's something that we talked about with J.J. Gould. Rob Calabrese was 0 for 1, but he got on base 3 times on 3 walks, scored 2 runs. Hunter Cullen had a multi-hit game. He had 2 singles, a walk, and then he wound up scoring on a wild pitch that was thrown back in the 4th inning. And then Elijah McNamee also had 2 hits and a walk, and he had that amazing diving catch in right field that I believe may have saved the game.
It might have been. It was a headliner, but I know you kept bragging about that last night, and I kept saying, yes, it was a beautiful ESPN highlight. But again, what really inspired me was when Sean Dunston hit that home run, and you had Big Mac actually climb up that fence, and his entire upper body was up over that fence. And you don't see that very often. I mean, that is what you call hustle, that's called determination, and athleticism. So that's what impressed me. Although the catch was outstanding, all I could see is, the belt above the plate, the fence.
Well, I think we've noted about the starting pitching, how good it's been. We have Austin Nicely on the mound today. And if you remember, the last time we saw Nicely at home was in Game 1 of the doubleheader against River City. He had a no-hitter after 4, and then the grand slam put things away. And unfortunately, he gave up 5 runs total, because after the grand slam, he gave up the solo home run to Zach Levy, or better known as Santa Claus for you. And then going into the 5th inning of his last start, he had 20 scoreless innings.
Yes.
So he's been one of the unsung heroes for this Evansville Otters ball club. He gets the ball today on the bump for Evansville. And we mentioned about the bullpen. I had a chance to talk to Drew Byer, who pitched the third of an inning last night, got out a right-handed batter that he needed to. Drew has been in the Otters rotation, whether they have a 2-run lead or a 1-run lead, and they need to protect it in the 6th or 7th. And he's also been in the game when they've had a 1 or 2-run deficit, and his job is to keep that deficit in order for the bats to wake up after he's done pitching. So we're going to get – oh, you have something to say?
Oh, I was just going to say about Nicely, you mentioned he had the no-hitter, and if you recall, there was a ground ball hit the third base, and it wasn't Long. Long was the DH that game. It was Mr. Wietrich was playing third base, and he kind of hesitated. It was a little thing, and we turned around, and I remember we were yelling, error, error, error. So that Nicely would preserve the no-hitter.
Right.
And then it was like 2 batters later, someone got a clean base hit, and we said,
right.
oh, okay, there goes the no-hitter. Yep. And that kind of opened the door that led to the grand slam. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's get to our interview with Drew Byer, and then when we come back, we'll get the starting lineups and first pitch. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on 91.5 WUEV.
The pizza brick road always goes to Tyroni's. I'm in the mood for pizza and I'm ready to go. The pizza brick road goes to Tyroni's. So follow me down the pizza brick road. Road down to Tyroni's. The pizza brick road. The pizza brick road always goes to Tyroni's.
Now let's go inside the clubhouse for today's one-on-one with the Evansville Otters.
All right, Dave Mooney with Otters reliever Drew Byer. Drew, thank you for joining me. First, how can you sum up, I guess, the past week or so? We've had a lot of offense performances in Washington. River City was more of a pitcher's duel in games 2 and 3, and in the start of Gateway, it's rather not an offensive-friendly type game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been kind of up and down. I don't know. We seem like we're starting to get momentum, and then all of a sudden we'll hit kind of a rough patch one game, but I don't know, down the stretch I feel like we'll start putting it all together, and if we do that, I mean, it'll be really tough to beat us.
And one thing I think it's safe to say from observing up in the booth, the pitching from starting to relievers has been very consistent. Just speak on behalf of, since you are a reliever, the bullpen as a whole, and then to complement the starting pitching that we've had recently.
Yeah, we've gotten some pretty ridiculous starting pitching, honestly. Especially since I've been here, the past 4 weeks or so. I mean, the starters have just been absolutely grinding out there, giving us, I don't think I've seen a starter go less than 6 since I've been here, to be honest, which is insane. Like, that's awesome. But for the relievers, you know, we're just out there ready to go every time, and I think as a staff as a whole, I think we have like the second best ERA in the league, which is, I mean, it's pretty good job. So I don't know, just gonna keep rolling out there and doing what we're doing.
And I think what has been most effective about the pitching staff as a whole is the strikeout numbers. What can you speak on that? Specifically, your strikeout to walk ratio is pretty good too.
Yeah. I think Max has done a good job of telling us kind of how to pitch, how to approach guys before games, and we do a lot of backwards pitching when it's kind of a situation where a hitter might ambush or something, and we do a good job of setting ourselves up for the strikeouts because we're getting ahead early in the counts and not really letting guys hurt us. So then, you know, once you get a guy behind, you have obviously a much higher chance of striking him out, and we've ended up being fortunate enough to get that done.
And what has helped you be effective? Because your strikeout numbers are there. What has allowed you? I think it all starts with your fastball.
Yeah, fastball for strike one is usually the best pitch in the game. I kind of struggled earlier. Like my first few outings, I was kind of learning the league a little bit and seeing these guys approach. And once I kind of settled in, it was a lot easier to, you know, adjust and really figure out what I needed to do to make the best pitches and the best counts and stuff like that.
And you've been thrown into situations where you've had a 1-run or a 2-run lead and your job is to hold it. There have been times where you've been thrown into a situation where we're down 1 run and we need to hold the 1-run deficit. I guess, how have you embraced your role as a part of the rotation of the relieving staff?
I think, honestly, those are the most fun situations for me. You know, the other night, coming in, 2 guys on with a 1-run lead, second and third, you know, those kind of situations, they really get your adrenaline going and kind of get your juices flowing a little bit. And I closed in college, so I kind of am used to that environment, but I think that's the most fun pitching is, you know, you come into a situation where it's you against him and you got to shut him down or you're going to lose the game, and better guy comes out on top.
Do you think from the time that you've been here that the pitching staff has pitched to its potential, or is there something that either the audience or the crowd hasn't seen yet?
I think we've done a pretty good job, honestly. I can't, especially on the starting side, I couldn't ask for any more from those guys. They've been wowing me start after start, to be honest. But from a reliever standpoint, we have a few games where we've scuffled, so I think we could be a little bit more locked down. But, you know, I think if we do what we've been doing and we couple that, instead of, you know, a certain game we're hitting, a certain game we're pitching well, if we can just kind of mix those together, there's not a whole lot you're going to be able to do to beat us.
And lastly, what is it like pitching at a ballpark like Bosse Field? You know, you've been around in affiliated baseball with the Tigers, but when you say to yourself, you know, whenever your professional career is done, that you can say, I've pitched in history.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't know before I came here that it was the 3rd oldest park in professional baseball, which is pretty impressive. You see, I think it's just really cool too to see the legacy of the Otters through Evansville as a whole. A lot of locals embrace us and really come out and support us, which is an awesome feeling. And even in the minor leagues, you get that sometimes, but not quite like this. It's kind of like being a little mini big league team in a minor league setting, which is pretty awesome.
All right, Drew Byer, thank you so much for your time. We'll get back to starting lineups and first pitch. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on 91.5 WUEV.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of Evansville Otters Baseball on 91.5 FM WUEV Evansville.
You did it Friday night.
No, I'm telling you. What's holding us
we're
up?
back on the air. Good
now?
afternoon. Yeah.
Oh,
Good
I'm
afternoon
sorry.
to you.
Oh, good afternoon. I'm sorry. I was just wondering what the holdup is. The umpires have been out there, and the National League,
The national anthem singer?
anthem singer is waiting. And
Yeah. Well, let's quickly get to the starting lineups first for the Otters. Batting first, playing second base is David Cronin. Batting second will be the left fielder Keith Griesaber. Batting third will be the third baseman Ryan Long. Batting fourth, the right fielder Elijah McNamee. Batting fifth, the designated hitter Taylor Lane. Batting sixth will be the first baseman Dakota Phillips. Batting seventh will be the catcher Mike Rizzatello. Batting eighth will be the center fielder Hunter Cohen. And batting ninth will be the shortstop Tanner Wietrich. Austin nicely on the bump for the Otters. Batting first for the Grizzlies will be Connor Owings, the DH. Batting second, the shortstop Brent Sakurai. Batting third, the right fielder Dustin Woodcock. Batting fourth, the first baseman Luke Lowry. Batting fifth, the man who's produced a majority of the offense for the Grizzlies, the center fielder Sean Dunston Jr. Batting sixth will be the second baseman Andrew Daniel. Batting seventh will be the third baseman Wesley Jones. Batting eighth will be the left fielder Cletus Avery. And batting at ninth will be the catcher Isaiah Cullum. And on the mound will be Rain Letkeman, a right-handed pitcher for the Gateway Grizzlies. We're going to get to the national anthem, and when we come back, it'll be first pitch from Bosse Field between the Otters and Grizzlies on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
It's game time for the Otters on 91.5 FM WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
3-1. Long. Toward right. Toward the corner. Toward the foul pole and over the wall. Fair. Home run for Ryan Long.
First pitch. Cronin crushes it in the air to deep right field. He bat flips it and it's way out of here.
Don't forget, Otters fans, you can catch every Evansville Otters broadcast on 91.5 FM WUEV, online at evansvilleotters.com, and through the WUEV mobile app.
Roxon deals the 2-2 pitch. Fastball called strike 3 on the inside corner. Vale rings up Bissell to end it, and the Otters are going back to the postseason.
Now, let's go out to the ballpark for all of the action.
And welcome to a beautiful and pretty humid afternoon of Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. We have a high temperature of 93 degrees, but it may feel like 100 out on the field today at Bossy Field. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Evansville Otters and the Gateway Grizzlies in a rubber match in their second to last series against each other. On the mound for the Otters will be Austin Nicely. And, Bill, the last time we saw Austin, he had a no-hitter through 4 and unfortunately gave up a few home runs in the 5th and 6th innings that he pitched.
He was coasting with a good breaking pitch that game, and then all of a sudden the floodgates opened. One guy got a hit, and before you know it, situation was a grand slam. Really put the cherry on top of that cake, and that was the end of Mr. Nicely. But other than that, he really pitched a beautiful game.
Nicely on the bump. He has a 4-7 record with a 4.91 ERA. Out on the field for the Otters, Mike Rizzatello behind the plate. We had a pleasure to talk to his dad earlier this week, and as well as we've seen many parents throughout the year.
Oh, yeah, it's so nice that parents come from all over the country. Mike's father, James, a New York policeman, journeyed all the way just to see Mike, and that's nice.
Tyler Beardsley's parents were here earlier this week, and the first pitch from Nicely to Connor Owings drops in there for a fastball, strike 1.
And you said Mr. Long's parents greeted you, what was it, in Washington?
Yes.
Yeah.
Next pitch from Owings is fouled away, moving the count to 0-2 after 2 pitches.
I think Bob Welsh was over there in Washington as well. It's Jake's father.
Bob Welsh, Rob Calabrese's dad was there.
Yeah.
Vale's parents were there.
Yeah.
And my parents were there as well.
Yeah.
The 0-2 pitch. Swung on ground ball down the first baseline, foul. Count remains at 0-2.
Well, for the Northeasterners, the New Yorkers like James Viscontelli, that's halfway to here.
Right.
It's like 400 miles.
Mm-hmm. Nicely comes set. The lefty now fires another 0-2. Ball upstairs. And count now at 1-2. Long at third, Wietrich at short, Cronin at second, Phillips at first, Griesaber in left, Cullen in center, and McNamee in right. Taylor Lane, the DH.
Strike 3.
A called strike 3, belt high inside, one away in the top of the first.
That was a nice breaking pitch that kind of froze the Connor. And, he knew it, I knew it, you knew it, and the whole ballpark knew it. So that's nice to start the game off with a strikeout, Dave.
To the plate now is Brent Sakurai. It was 2 for 9 in the series with 2 singles. First pitch swung on foul down the right field line, and the count will now be at 0-1.
And we want to welcome Secret Weapon, who is with us today, sitting in his normal seat behind
home plate.
Home plate there, and always happy to see Secret Weapon.
That's right, as well as the other loyal and faithful fans here. A pretty humid and muggy afternoon at the ballpark, but everyone hoping for an Otters victory, as well as everyone who supports them. The 1-1 pitch from Nicely. Swinging a fly ball, shallow center field. Cullen is there, and he makes the catch for out number 2, a can of corn.
Well, you're making a point, Dave, that it's humid out there and it's in the 90s, and I know maybe I'm showing my age, but I go back 50, 60 years ago when I was playing, and we used to play most of our professional games on Sunday, and I loved it. And we wore, wool clothing, and you might have weighed 200 pounds, and after the game was over, you weighed 195. You remember Boog Powell, the first baseman for the Baltimore Orioles many years ago?
This pitch is swung on foul behind home plate. Quickly, the count 0-2 to Dustin Woodcock.
Well, anyway, my point is Baltimore played the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, a doubleheader on a Sunday afternoon.
Right.
And Boog Powell
swinging a ground ball to Cronin. He'll toss it over to first to Dakota Phillips, and Austin Nicely has a clean first inning.
Boog Powell lost 10 pounds that one day. Unbelievable.
Wow. I wish I could. We head to the bottom of the first, no score, here on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier and Press for support and coverage of Otters baseball. The Evansville Courier and Press provides news, sports, and weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition. The Evansville Courier and Press can be found online at courierandpress.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. The Evansville Courier and Press, a member of the Journal Media Group.
It's time for the 5th annual Blues on the Rock, Sunday, September 1st at Rockport City Park. 6 blues bands live on stage 2 p.m. till midnight. Featuring blues rocker Sean Murphy having her CD release party.
There's a place you can find where the sun.
Food, drinks, arts and crafts, and tent camping available. $10 admission. A blues set from Bosco, France.
Evil woman, why you play me for a fool?
Blues on the Rock.
No score between the Otters and Grizzlies in a rubber match today. Sunday afternoon, and it is Evan the Otter's birthday today, as he has a lot of mascot friends here at the ballpark to celebrate. The first pitch to Cronin from Rain Letkeman will be a ball outside. Count moves to 1-0.
Where's the party at? The reception?
I don't know.
I didn't get invited, so whatever. I don't care to go anyway.
Fair enough. The 1-0 pitch to Cronin is a ball in the dirt, moving the count to 2-0. Rain Letkeman, the last time he faced the Otters was on the 3rd of July.
Yeah, notice how that third baseman and
2-0 swung on. That would be a line drive right at the first baseman, Luke Lowry, for out number 1.
Dave couldn't have hit that ball any harder. A beautiful smash. But the first baseman never moved. All he did was put his glove up around his shoulder, and it went right in the glove.
I want to give a special happy 45th anniversary to Elliot and Carol Siegel, the parents of Bobby and Matt Siegel today. 45 years, the Elliot and Carol Siegel, the parents of Bobby and Matt, have been married.
Well, 45 years, a lot of time.
How about you?
63.
Okay.
Same woman. I met her here in Evansville. The most beautiful woman in the world.
The 1-0 pitch. It will be in the dirt for ball 2, and I can't say I'm there yet, but when I do, I'll let you know.
Okay. I've been very, very fortunate. 7 children, 12 grandchildren, 2 great children. I've been very well blessed.
2-0 is a ball inside, moving the count to 3-0 to Keith Griesaber, who hit his first home run since May 26th last night. No, I couldn't agree more. It's that's awesome to hear you say that you have the amount of children, grandchildren, and now great-grandchildren that you have.
Yep. Love them all.
Keith Griesaber works a 4-pitch walk. First base runner of the day belongs to the Otters.
Well, here comes Mr. Reliable. Right now, is he technically leading the Frontier League in RBIs? Again, he was tied at 68, got 4 last night, so it should give him 72 if I'm not mistaken.
Let me double check you on that one, Bill. As Ryan Long steps to the plate, he had 4 RBIs last night. Yes, he is. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball from Leckman for strike 1. Ryan Long, he does lead the
Frontier
League. He is 1 ahead of Hector Rella from Washington.
Oh,
as well as
Martinez. Isn't it? Martinez was up there?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 ahead of Martinez and 10 ahead of Rella.
Oh, okay.
Entering today.
Okay.
Next pitch to Ryan Long is a called strike.
It was identical. He's 2 pitches. He's thrown it inside, locking Ryan's elbows into his gut.
0-2 would be a ball outside. Count moves to 1-2 now to Ryan Long, hitting .291 on the season. 13 home runs, and as you mentioned, Bill, 72 RBIs.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment. I don't care if the season ended today. It'd still be an awful lot of RBIs for a season.
The 1-2 swing and a miss, and I think Ryan wants to have that swing back. It'll be out number 2.
Well, let me put it this way. I think I would have difficulty hitting that ball. That was a tremendous breaking pitch that went over the plate and then cut down toward his thighs. And Ryan took a good cut, but that ball had a tremendous bite to it.
Mm-hmm.
Even Ted Williams might have had trouble with that one.
To the plate now is Elijah McNamee. McNamee had 2 hits yesterday and an RBI. He's 3 for 7 in the series. Otters in their home whites today, Bill, and they look classy as McNamee takes a called strike 1.
And you know I love those whites. I don't love any other color but the whites at home and the grays on the road. I'm a traditionalist.
0-1 the count. The catcher.
He's failing. He was leaning.
There's a swing and a foul ball down the right field line. 0-2 the count now to McNamee. Elijah's hitting .293 on the year. 9 RBIs, a home run. 27 hits on the season for Elijah McNamee, ever since he was acquired towards the end of July. Keith Griesaber takes off for second, but it doesn't matter as McNamee swings at strike 3, and the Otters are now retired in the inning.
And another super breaking pitch. This guy's got a good curveball.
Leckman is a solid pitcher for the Grizzlies, and runs might be hard to come by, just
That's
like last
right.
time. We'll head to the top of the second. No score here at Bossy Field. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. GD Ritzy's menu features hamburgers, grilled chicken sandwiches, old-fashioned peanut butter and jelly, and ice cream. With 3 Evansville locations. West at 4810 University Drive. On the north side at 4320 North 1st Avenue. And on the east side at 601 North Green River Road. GD Ritzy's is open from 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. GD Ritzy's, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
Heritage Federal Credit Union has 7 full-service branches in both Evansville and Newburgh, serving more than 38,000 members. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Vandenberg or Warwick County. Heritage Federal Credit Union offers mortgage and consumer loans, checking and savings accounts, as well as online banking for members. Heritage Federal Credit Union can be reached toll-free by phone at 1-800-858-1693. It can also be found online at hfcu.info.
The Hoosier Lottery began selling lottery tickets on October 13, 1989. Since then, the Hoosier Lottery has offered hundreds of different games, awarded prizes to millions of players, and given billions of dollars to the state of Indiana. The Hoosier Lottery's mission is to responsibly provide innovative and entertaining lottery games for the benefit of the citizens of Indiana. To learn more about the Hoosier Lottery, visit them online at HoosierLottery.com. The Hoosier Lottery, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. No score, top second. For the plate will be Luke Lowry for the Grizzlies. Austin Nicely back on the mound for the Otters. From the belt, he fires the first pitch. It will be swinging a drive to center field. First pitch, fastball from Nicely, drops in there for a hit for Lowry. And now the first hit of the day will belong to the Gateway Grizzlies.
So we don't have to worry about a no-hitter. That's wiped off the books right now. But here comes probably the most productive batter in the Gateway lineup.
That's right, Mr. Sean Dunston Jr., the son of Sean Dunston, who at one point, I want to say about for a good 8, 9, maybe 10 years, was the everyday shortstop for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, outstanding shortstop at one time, too, when he was younger. You know, everybody fades when you get older.
The first pitch to Dunston is a fastball away. Actually, that may have had some break at the end of that pitch from Nicely. Yeah. Count moves to 0-1 with one out, with no outs. Dunston, 3 for 7 in the series. Single, double, 2-run home run, as well as a walk. Lefty-lefty matchup. Nicely will come set, fires an 0-1. It's a fastball upstairs. Count now even at 1 with no outs.
Nicely there. If you notice on that particular situation, he just stared at first base. He didn't, I don't even think, took a breath. He just looked.
Here's the 1-1. Ground ball foul down the first base line. Count moves to 1-2.
That must have went off his ankle or his toes or something. He's walking around now, and I know it hit something and it died, but apparently it hit him, Mr. Dunston, I'm saying. And he's being an Oriole. We used to call anyone that got hurt but didn't show it an Oriole.
Got it. That's right. I remember you saying that earlier in the year.
Yeah.
The 1-2, runner goes. Throw down to second base. No. And that is in there, not in time.
Well,
Lowry is successful with a swipe back.
Yeah, that was a ball that was in the dirt, and it handcuffed Mike and made that throw difficult. And he had to hustle because, again, he had to shift. His body was moving in the wrong direction to throw it.
2-2 the count to Dunston. The pitch outside for ball 3 on a breaking ball from Nicely. Count full. Runner on second. First hit of the day belongs to the Gateway Grizzlies as Luke Lowry singled and then stole second.
You know, this is the first time I've seen Dunston. I know I listened to you on the radio when you played at Gateway. And what he's shown me, he's a productive offensive player. But then I look up at the scoreboard and he's batting .247. And his on-base percentage is only .307. So, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, you wonder what's wrong with him that he can hit the ball well here, but not in the other ballparks.
The short porch in Gateway, I think, helps.
Well, that's why I figured he had at least 15 home runs the way he hit the ball against us last night.
He's got home run number 7 after last night on the season. The payoff pitch. Be a cold strike 3 on a breaking ball from Austin Nicely. Another backwards K, second of the day, and that's out number 1.
Well, again, on Mr. Dunston as well as on Mr. Owens, they were called third strikes, not swinging strikes, but called third strikes. So therefore, it's saying to the batters, hey, this man out there has got something that's deceiving.
To the plate now, Andrew Daniel. He has 1 hit in the series. He's 1 for 7. Swinging a drive right at Ryan Long. Throw over to David Cronin. Was not covering the second base bag. So 1 pitch, 1 out, 2 away here in the top of the second. To the plate now is Wesley Jones, who is statistically in this series the most productive hitter for Gateway. He's 4 for 8 with 4 singles and an RBI. Nicely checks the runner at second base. The first pitch to Jones. Right in there on the inside corner, belt high for strike 1.
I tell you what, Mr. Lowry could have stole third base then. David went back to his position, and Lowry was a jumping jack, and had plenty of opportunity to go.
Riz sets up inside, 0-1, swung on, fly ball, shallow right field. Cronin says, I got it, and he makes the catch for out number 3. Luke Lowry stranded at second base as we head to the bottom of the second. No score from Bossy Field on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Chapter 16, would like to take time to say, Go Otters! The IBEW Local 16's jurisdiction includes 13 counties in southwestern Indiana, as well as Wabash County in Illinois. Its members are divided into several categories of electrical work, including inside construction, maintenance electric, residential wiring, and sign classifications. More information on IBEW Local 16 can be found online at ibew16.net.
The Tri-State Area Marathon service stations are proud supporters of the Evansville Otters. Marathon has over 5,100 Marathon-branded stations nationwide, and a full list of area Marathon stations and a list of daily gas prices are available online at myMarathonStation.com. Marathon provides products which support commercial, industrial, and retail operations. Marathon's slogan is Fueling the American Spirit.
WUEV listeners, you can catch Evansville Otters baseball this week, Tuesday through Sunday on 91.5 FM WUEV. And remember, the Otters pregame warm-up begins 15 minutes prior to first pitch. You can listen on 91.5 FM, WUEV.org, EvansvilleOtters.com, and through TuneIn Radio. It's Evansville Otters baseball on WUEV.
The Evansville Otters play here on 91.5 FM WUEV.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. No score here in the bottom of the second. Taylor Lane to the plate. He gets a first pitch called strike outside knee high. Away from the right-handed batter. Count at 0-1. Here's the next pitch. It'll be a breaking ball this time in the dirt from Letkeman to even the count at 1. Rain Letkeman coming in with a 3-3 record and a 3.43 ERA. The last time he faced the Otters was on July 3rd. The 1-1 swung on to a ground ball to the second baseman Daniel. Goes over to first a bit high, but Lowry was able to adjust and make the catch, touch the bag for out number 1. Here in the bottom of the second.
And here comes
Dakota Phillips.
Yeah, and he's playing first base tonight. Mr. Meggs is not in the lineup.
That's right. Well, Dakota's overcoming a bit of back spasms.
Oh, is that why Mr. Meggs has been on first base?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Looks like he's got some new spikes out there. First pitch. Drops in there for strike 1. Belt high outside to the lefty Phillips, who's batting .230 on the season. 43 hits. Here's his 0-1. Swung on foul. Catches the inside part of his bat. Moves the count to 0-2 with 1 out.
I'd say he's probably the most powerful home run hitter on this Otter lineup.
Yes, when he puts a good swing on it, you can forget about it.
Yeah. He's got distance.
0-2. And that'll be a called strike 3 on the outside corner. 2 up, 2 down for Lefkoman here in the bottom of the second.
So that is Mr. Letterman's third strikeout. We're in the second inning, and 3 of the 5 outs have been on strikeouts.
Lefkoman is solid.
Yeah.
He has, coming into this game, 55 strikeouts and 55 innings pitched.
And all of those strikeouts, that was a called strikeout on Phillips, and on the others with Big Mac and Ryan, they were breaking pitches. So all 3 strikeouts have been on a breaking pitch.
Mike Rizzatello to the plate. The first pitch nearly hit him in the face. This next one is a fly ball to right, and no one can get that foul ball, as sliding trying to attempt and catch the ball as Andrew Daniel does not make the catch. Lowry, the first baseman, couldn't get it, as well as the right fielder Woodcock. It's now an even count at 1 to Mike Rizzatello.
And Mike again, as much as I like Mike, and I've talked to him about it and mentioned it to his father, he's got to attack the ball, not wait on it and hit off his back foot. That's why he hits so many balls to right field. The bat is slow.
Here's the 1-1. That'll be inside for ball 2. So of the 3 pitches that Mike has had, 2 of them were inside. 1 was near his face, and then 1 was near the heart of the plate. Here's the 2-1. Swung on, hit one to left field, and that's just foul.
Now, you see how he attacked that ball? That's why. And if you remember when he was batting .300, and he was batting about .300 maybe 2-3 weeks there, he was hitting everything to left field and left center. And that's why he was attacking. And he's got to go back to that.
Even counted 2 with 2 outs, bottom second.
There you
Swinging
go.
a drive, the left
There
field's
you
going to
go.
drop for a base hit over the shortstop, Sakurai.
Way to go, Mike.
The first hit of the day for the Otters belongs to Mike Rizzatello.
Which, again, we said a couple weeks ago, that's where he was hitting most of his balls, over short or down the left field line. And that's when you attack the ball. And by attacking the ball, what I'm trying to say is you got to be out front. And that's, a better explanation. Be out front with the bat.
Be aggressive,
Yes,
aggressive.
be aggressive, yeah.
Okay. To the plate now is Hunter Cullen, who had a multi-hit game last night, as well as a run scored. Really, he used his speed to score that run last night.
Oh, did he? Did he? I mean, when that pitcher tried to pick him off at first base and threw it bad, I mean, he was like a wild rabbit running. He hit second base and never stopped. If there was a traffic sign there, he would have got the ticket.
Cullen has a count at 1-0. He'll step out of the batter's box. Riz on first base with the Otters' first hit. Still no score in the bottom of the second. Throw over to first. No tag applied. Cullen, his count remains at 1-0, and we noted about it earlier, but I think the most remarkable thing about Hunter is that one of his favorite activities when not playing baseball is hunting. Swing in a shallow pop-up in the infield. The second baseman, Daniel, is there. Tracks and makes the catch for out number 3. Scoreless through 2 here at Bossy Field. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, Make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Brought to you by Indiana 811.
Hello, this is Jared McIntosh, and I want to invite you and your family to a very special outdoor musical event. The Praise in the Park event is happening on August 24th from 11 to 1 at the Line Street Church of Christ, located downtown Evansville at 756 Line Street. We're going to have great food, great fun, and some of the best a cappella singing you've heard this side of the Midwest. Join us once again on August 24th at 756 Line Street, downtown Evansville. Praise in the Park.
This Evansville Otters broadcast is made possible through support from New Image Travel. New Image Travel provides motor coach charter service to the United States and Canada with pickup within a 150-mile radius of Evansville. A full list of New Image Travel's offerings can be found online at newimagecharter.com. New Image Travel can be reached toll-free at 1-800-432-6213. New Image Travel, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Top three, no score. Each team has a hit as we're in the rubber match between the Evansville Otters and the Gateway Grizzlies. This will be the second to last time the Otters will see Gateway. Then they return back to Bosse Field later on this month on August 27th. And the last homestand of the season, there are only 6 home games remaining. We have a lot of promotions when the Grizzlies come to town on August 27th, including Taco Tuesday, the first pitch to Cletus Avery's in the dirt for a ball one. We have a Weenie Wednesday and a hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, I noticed that, but it costs you, what, $25 to enter it?
Does it?
Yeah, you got to pay, and there's only 10 people, I think. First 10 people that sign up qualify.
Oh, you going to join?
I'd love to, but those days for me like that are gone.
Okay, so you're not Kobayashi in the contest anymore?
No.
Okay. Swing and a late foul tip from Avery will move the count to 1-2.
Where, I was younger, I could eat 2 horses and a cow. Now I'm lucky if I get the chicken egg.
Okay.
Even that hamburger, which is delicious here, that they serve a tremendous, delicious hamburger and bratwurst. It's too much for me anymore.
This next pitch is fouled late by Avery.
I think they call that about your stomach shrinking or something like that.
Got it. 1-2 the count. No outs. Top 3, no score. Nicely the lefty from the belt. Fires. Line drive to left field. Foul down the left field line.
Oh, timeout, timeout. Don't turn around. That's it. The usher is yelling something, and I see Andy, and whatever it was, caught Andy's attention. He looked up and was listening.
Sure. The 1-2. Foul once more. Heading into pitch number 6 of the at-bat. Nicely now. 21 strikes, 6 balls thrown through 2 innings.
That's a pretty good accomplishment.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Austin Nicely. 1 away in the top of the 3rd.
And to my record, that's 3 strikeouts, 3 innings.
Not bad at all.
No, it isn't. If he could get, 6 or 7 strikeouts a game, that's pretty good. You'd love to see 10, but, take 6.
He's been more 3 to 5 strikeouts a game, but a lot of balls in play for the infield. The first pitch to Isaiah Cullum will drop in there for strike 1 on a fastball. Cullum entering his 8th game of the year. He is the catcher today. His batting average is .067.
Just got hit.
All right. which may speak to why his on base percentage is at 263. Not many. He only has one hit on the year, so he must have a handful of walks. To the plate now is Connor Owings. He is 0 for 1 in this game so far. He struck out looking back in the first.
He started the game last night in the same situation. He struck out his first time at bat. In fact, last night the first two batters struck out, if you recall.
First pitch will be a called strike on a breaking ball from Austin Nicely. It's the curveball right there, moving the count to 0-1.
You know, one of the nice advantages of playing right now, Dave, I don't know if you've taken notice to it, but the sun is not in the second base or right fielder's eyes. So that makes it more...
0-1 pitch fouled away, and I can't see Cronin a whole lot, but I'll agree with you.
No, I mean, you know, most of the time we start those games at 6:35. The sun is shining right down there in second or in the right side of the field, and the right fielder and the second baseman have to shield their eyes at anything as a fly ball. Now it's strictly overhead, so they, you know, they're not blinded.
Blinded by the light?
Yes.
You know that's a song.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Steve Miller Band, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It's catchy. It's from the 80s, I believe. 80s are, something that tells me it's probably in the late 70s. 0-2 in the dirt for ball one. Rubber match today. Otters have a 48-35 record, one game behind the Florence Freedom. They're able to gain some ground a bit on the River City Rascals.
But not the Miners, are they?
Not the Miners.
Yeah. The General's still there.
We'll see him on Tuesday. The 1-2 swung on, foul down the first base line. Count remains at 1-2. I've heard good things about Rent One Park. I heard it's looks similar to a professional stadium.
It's a beautiful ballpark. It's all AstroTurf. Center field is where the clubhouse is. And one of the nicest things, just like in a major league ballpark, is they have restroom facilities in the dugout.
Ah.
So
1-2, breaking ball in the dirt. Good block there by Riz to even the count at 2. Holding the runner at first in Cullum. 1 out, double play intact. Owings in the series is 1 for 8 with the home run. He has 2 runs scored. He walked. He also has 6 strikeouts in the series heading into this at-bat. Nicely comes set from the belt. Fires a 2-2. Ground ball foul down the first base line once more. And we'll go back at it again.
Now, that was a pretty good breaking pitch. It was outside, and if you notice that left-hand batter reached to take that and foul it off. But you can see this guy's protected the plate. No lead at all at first.
Here's the 2-2. Foul ball this time down the third baseline.
Yeah, so you've got Cullum, the catcher that just got hit, is on first, and you said he only got 1 base hit, but excuse me, he's over at first. He doesn't have a lead at all. Look at that lead. He's probably about 3 feet, 4 feet at the most away.
Nicely now from the belt. He'll check the runner first. Takes a deep breath. 2-2. Popped up. Shallow now to left field. Grease Eber will wander over and make the catch for out number 2.
Now, if I saw correctly, he had the glasses, his sunglasses down, because I saw the reflection of the glasses in the sun. And that's good out there that he's got the glasses down. Good.
Everyone has their own style.
Well, there's no sense in wearing sunglasses and have them up on the top of your hat.
Right.
And that's Hollywood. so why have them there?
Right. First pitch to Brent Zacharias, lifted to left field. Playable for Griesaber. 1 pitch, 1 out. Out number 3. Nicely through 3 innings as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. No score from Bossy Field on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Why Old National Bank? Old National Bank began in 1834 with just 1 room and a passion for helping people prosper. Today, we are honored and grateful to be the financial partner for so many businesses, families, and individuals like you. From our commitment to safety and security to our promise of service that will exceed your expectations, we want to be your bank for life. Old National Bank, member FDIC.
The local Pepsi Bottling Group features Pepsi Company products for distribution to retailers and vendors in the tri-state and would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. The Pepsi Bottling Group has locations at 2605 West Marion Street in Marion, Illinois, 3081 Contronics Drive in Owensboro, Kentucky, and 11733 West Industrial Park Drive in Elberfeld, Indiana. Information on Pepsi products can be found online at PepsiCo.com. Pepsi, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
WUEV listeners, you can catch Evansville Otters baseball this week, Tuesday through Sunday on 91.5 FM WUEV. And remember, the Otters pregame warm-up begins 15 minutes prior to first pitch. You can listen on 91.5 FM, WUEV.org, EvansvilleOtters.com, and through TuneIn Radio. It's Evansville Otters baseball on WUEV.
Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Bottom 3rd, no score between the Otters and Grizzlies. Leckman fires a first pitch ball inside belt high to Tanner Wietrich. Count at 1-0. Tanner's batting .225 on the year as an Otter. Here's his next pitch. It will be a breaking ball in the dirt. Count moves to 2-0. Leckman coming into this game, 55 strikeouts in 55 innings pitched. That's solid last time I checked.
Oh, yeah.
2-0 inside for ball 3 towards the chest of Wietrich, the former River City Rascal and the former Iowa Hawkeye.
Now, here we have a 3-0 situation. And we'll see what happens.
And that'll be ball 4.
Good. He took it.
The second walk issued by Rain Leckman, and will bring up the Otters spark plug and David Cronin. He's not only a fan of Giordano's Pizza, but also Portillo's. Portillo's is known for the Chicago-style hot dogs, as well as Italian sausage with the corned beef. So,
well, you see, you're educating me. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did they sell that down on Rush Street in Chicago?
Oh, I'm sure.
You know where Rush Street is?
No, I don't.
Well, that's the...
First pitch to Cronin is outside for ball 1.
That's the Lively Street. It's
okay.
a block or 2 off Michigan.
Okay. I've been to downtown Chicago. Went to visit a friend of mine who works in a banking firm.
Oh, okay.
Here's the 1-0. He shows bunt once more, then pulls his bat back as the pitch was high from Leckman. 2 pitches, 2 balls, no strikes to David Cronin.
I stayed in 3 hotels in in Chicago: the Palmer House, the Westin, and the Marriott.
2-0. Bunt laid down. Throw over to second base. Sails into the outfield. Wietrich will come to third.
Error.
And that will be an E1. Cronin is aboard.
And the reason for that, if I may, at least given an analysis, was the pitcher was in such a hurry to throw it to second base to get the runner at second. He never planted his foot. He threw off balance, and therefore it was a bad throw. The runner wasn't, the second baseman wasn't even at the bag yet. It's a big break for the Otters.
Got to take advantage here from the man who hit a home run yesterday. Keith Griesaber. First pitch, a called strike one. A bit high, but near the heart of the plate. 0-1 the count to Keith. Keith hitting .281 on the season. Runners on the corners for the Otters, no outs. Wietrich at third. And calling time is Keith Griesaber. St. Louis native. And Bill, I mentioned this to you off the air, but today is Roberto Clemente's birthday.
Yes, I never knew, I knew of him, but never knew him, but I did know.
For next pitch to Keith is a belt-high strike inside for strike two.
Well, I'm not going to say I know him. I was at several ballparks, referred to Baltimore for one, that they stayed in the same hotel as I, and they were treated royally, the family. All you had to do was mention them, and they, had box seats, and they were interviewed and all that.
0-2, swing and a drive up the middle of the infield. It's going to score Tanner Wietrich. An RBI single for Keith Griesaber, and the Otters are on the board.
Yeah. Now, if you remember, Keith the other night hit a little trickler to second base, which the second baseman threw it home that got the force out. Then later he hit a little trickler back to the pitcher's mound, and then he got another trickler for a base hit. Now here he comes now, and he gets another trickler. That was an easy ground ball that went through, but fortunately for the Otters, it was a base hit. So he may not be hitting the ball solidly, but he's making contact in there. That's what counts.
First run aboard. We're in the bottom of the third, 1-0 now in favor of the Otters over the Grizzlies. First pitch to Ryan Long, ripped to right field. Going back is Woodcock, and it goes off the top of the wall in right field. Rounding third and scoring is David Cronin. Now going back to third is Keith Griesaber, and RBI double for Ryan Long makes that now 53 on the season. Otters up 2-0.
Now, I don't know, but Andy's over there talking to Keith right now because there he's saying something's wrong. Because if you saw Andy waved him in. Andy was waving him in, go in, go in, go in. Now, whatever happened, I don't know, but Keith stopped. Now Andy's talking to him. So somewhere something happened to Keith. He either lost his footing or something, and whatever, but Andy had waved him in. So instead of getting 2 RBIs, Brian only ends up with 1.
Now, did you notice what happened in Brian's at-bat?
Yes, he took a first pitch, and he really unloaded on it. He had one of those good swings that I keep saying that's what he needs.
Well, great minds think alike, Bill.
Wow.
First pitch to McNamee, swing and a miss. That pitch was a changeup off speed from Letkeman. Count at 0-1. McNamee sat fastball and realized, it's off speed, and couldn't bring his bat back in time. Runners now on second and third for the Otters after the RBI double from Long. I believe the third RBI double he's had this week.
Right. Do you know where they got the old reliable? Who was called old reliable?
You?
That was Tommy Hendrick for the New York Yankees years ago. He always came through in the clutch, and that's why I call Mr. Ryan old reliable. He comes through in the clutch.
Next pitch, ground ball, chopper to the third baseman, Keith Griesaber now caught in a rundown. He gets back to third safely.
Safe.
And reaching aboard with a fielder's choice is Elijah McNamee. Keith is back on the hairs of his chin.
Keith ought to look up and say, thank you, God. That's two mistakes he's made in running. He should never have attempted to come home.
In a way, you're supposed to at least take a lead and then stop there and make the fielders dictate what to do, and that should be your reaction.
That's
correct?
right. But he started automatically at home before they, just as the fielder had the ball, and actually they were pretty near even when he received the ball.
Bases juice for Taylor Lane. Swing and a foul ball into the Otters dugout on the first base side. Count at 0-1. Still no outs. Otters up 2-0. The RBI single by Grizzlies, followed by the RBI double by Ryan Long. You could argue that Grizzlies should be home. Instead, there's an 0-1 count to Lane. Line drive to center field. Caught by Sean Dunston in center. Tagging from third is Keith Grizzlies, the sac fly for Taylor Lane. The Otters are up now 3-0, but you got to give Dunston credit. He might be shaken up a bit as he's down in center field.
He's down on his knees. He made a catch down on his knees, and he's hurting. Somehow he is hurting. There, he's left the glove. He's there. But, give him credit. He may be injured right now. I don't know what the problem is. But he got a beautiful, good throw back to third. Even though he may be hurt, he did get that ball off. So, anyway, RBI.
For Mr. Lane. His second RBI in the series. He had the RBI triple back in the first last night. So with runners on first and second, a 3-0 lead for the Otters. Dakota Phillips steps to the dish.
So, you know what you said.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt from Letkeman moves the count to 0-1.
Right before Lane hit that ball to center field, you said something about Keith should be home. Well, he is home.
Noted. 3-0 Otters. Next pitch to Phillips is a fastball outside to even the count at 1. 1 out. RBIs from Grizzlies, Long, and Lane. Ryan Long goes. Throw down to third. That was not on the mark. Ryan Long slides in safely to third base. A successful swiped bag.
Yeah, the throw was high and the inside, forcing the third baseman to leap in the air, which allowed Ryan to slide under the tag. I'm going to say one thing so far. The breaks are going the Otters' way.
So the last time the Otters faced Letkeman, they scored 3 runs on him. They won 3-0. Letkeman's pitched 6. The Otters now have 3 runs against Letkeman right now. The 2-1 will be swing and a miss on a breaking ball low and away to Phillips. The count is now even at 2. And you noted about Phillips' power earlier. He has the only grand slam that was hit this season.
And that was dead center. 400 feet.
Yes, sir. 2-2. Chopper foul behind home plate. Count remains even at 2 with 1 out. Runners on the corners for the Otters. Ryan Long at third. Elijah McNamee at first. He hit a fielder's choice that made the bases loaded as Keith Grizzlies was dancing at third and managed to reach back to third base safely. He later on scored on the sac fly from Taylor Lane. Here is the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball to left center field. And playing that one is Avery. Tagging is Long. The throw to the plate is on the mark. A double play. And I thought that Avery had good position. I don't think that ball was hit deep enough. McCauley at third, aggressive on the base path. Knowing how good of a pitcher Letkeman is, wants to get as many runs as he can as possible, but I'm going to respectfully disagree with the decision.
Respectfully disagree at what?
The decision to send Ryan Long.
Well, you notice that left fielder set himself up right. He did what every outfielder should do, and that is he timed it. He, as the ball was on its flight downward, he waited, and then within 20 feet, then he started going, taking a step where his body was going forward. So when he caught the ball, he was already in the forward motion to throw it. He did what you teach every outfielder to do.
No, but you could agree that the left fielder was shallow.
Yes.
It was. I don't think that ball was hit deep enough.
Right. No, I agree with you 100%. I'm just complimenting what he did, which was so nice to see an outfielder do what they're taught how to do.
So, the Otters are up 3-0 as we head to the top of the fourth. And I mentioned earlier that it's Roberto Clemente's birthday, Hall of Famer for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm sure you have a story or two about him, no?
Oh, say that again.
A story or two about Roberto Clemente.
No, really, I don't. Like I said, I know of him. I know of his family because I was with them in different hotels and ballparks. But as far as I never said hello to him, I never acknowledged anything except that I knew I was in their presence, and that's it. No, I didn't know the man and don't know his family.
Or let me see, because
But he was a great outfielder.
I wasn't around to obviously see him play, but what was it about him that made him
He was a total ball player, defense, offense, and running. He had all the attributes that a ball player should have. Great speed, great power, great defense, great arm. That's what you call great.
And then I think the other thing about him was we talk about a lot of the Otters players being well-rounded individuals serving the community.
Right.
And I think Roberto Clemente was a prime example of that.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he died in a plane crash going to the Dominican on a humanitarian delivery of food to the people, and that was good.
So we're in the top of the fourth. Austin Nicely now has a 3-0 lead for the Otters. His first pitch to Dustin Woodcock, a curveball that's outside, grazing the outside corner. He doesn't get the call. It'll be ball one. 1-0 the count to Woodcock, who has a solo home run in this series. His next pitch will be foul this time. Similar location, and Woodcock will swing at this one foul to even the count at 1.
Oh, what a great throw. Just bounced in. A couple kids just got a foul ball.
The 1-1 will be a fastball, a two-seam fastball inside.
Good pitch, though.
Moving the count to 2-1. That's the effectiveness of Nicely's fastball, because depending on the batter, it'll curve inside the left-handed batters for the two-seam and curve away. There's a called strike on the curveball, moving the count even at 2. But to left-handed batters, the fastball, the two-seam will curve in and curve away from right-handed batters, and the curveball does the opposite, according to Mike Rizzatello. 2-2 swung on, ground ball to first. That'll be drifting foul.
Well, who knows better than Big Mike? Probably the best defensive catcher that the Otters have, and I'd say one of the better defensive catchers in the Frontier League. Although he doesn't have the greatest arm, he has a good arm, but there's that Rosa. I mean, he's probably got
De La Rosa.
De La Rosa, he's probably got the best arm in this league.
Oh, yeah, from Lake Erie, who currently leads the Frontier League East Division. And this isn't a knock on Lake Erie, but every team in the Frontier League East Division other than the Crushers have a losing record.
Oh, that right?
There's a ground ball foul down the first base line. Yeah, so going into today, as the count is even at 2 to Woodcock, the Crushers have a 44-38 record. Schaumburg has a 41-42 record. Joliet is 37-46. Windy City's 35-48, and Washington is 34-51. So by default, Schaumburg has played sub-500 baseball since the All-Star break, and Lake Erie has benefited from all the other teams having a losing record in the Frontier League East Division. There's a great catch there by Phillips on the line drive out by Woodcock for out number 1.
Yeah, everything's going the Otters' way so far. But anyway, getting back to Big Mike is the one that told you that information. And, yeah, the ball sails inward on his two-seamer, you said, and it curves, it rotates away on the other.
First pitch, that'll be a curveball dropping in there to the right-handed batter, Luke Lowry. That pitch had some great off-speed on it for strike 1.
Yeah.
Nicely comes set. Another curveball. Now will be a bit elevated for strike 2 as Lowry swings and misses. So that curveball hung up in the zone a bit, but Lowry was fooled, and it's now a quick 0-2 count. Here's the 0-2. That'll be a fastball this time. It had some zip on that one. Count moves to 1-2.
Your description of these pitches are right on point.
Thank you. A 1-2. A late foul tip by Lowry will stay alive in the box. Count remains at 1-2.
And Secret Weapon is down there enjoying some popcorn. So
one of my favorite snacks in a ballpark
is popcorn.
Yes.
They get. I love it, but
this pitch is foul behind home plate, and once again the count remains at 1-2.
As much as I love popcorn, the little seeds or little whatever gets caught in my dentist's teeth. I'm only renting the teeth, the dentist owns them. And
a 1-2 pitch. It'll be a breaking ball in the dirt inside for ball 2. And just want to give another happy 45th anniversary to the parents of Bobby and Matt Siegel, Mr. Elliott and Mrs. Carol Siegel today. 45 years. Bobby and Matt have a message for them saying that they love them dearly, is that they are not only great parents but great grandparents as well.
Well, that's good.
And you know from the experience having grandchildren as well, right?
Don't I? I was just telling my grandson who was visiting us, and of course he went back, but
next pitch from Nicely's in the dirt for ball 3.
We passed the Holiday Inn on 41. It used to be the Marriott.
Right.
And I said, this is where Grandmom and I celebrated our 40th anniversary. I invited all our friends, our relatives, and
payoff, pop-up, foul. Count remains full.
I put up all my friends for 2 nights, and then all my children that travel. I gave them 3 nights to stay, and plus
that's nice of you.
buffet. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what. It cost a few dollars. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I'm sure. The payoff pitch once more, swing and a miss. It's the curveball inside for out number 2.
Yeah, and then on the 50th, we had 148 or something like that people. Then on the 50th, we had it at the kennel club, and we had about 60 or 70 people there. That cost a few bucks, and then we just celebrated our 60th, and that was back at the kennel club. So I know what it is to celebrate those years. Hey, celebrate because you never know there's going to be another.
Couldn't agree more. Dunston has a 1-0 count. Here's the next pitch. This will be a fastball away. Count moves to 1-1. Nicely shakes off a pitch from Rizzatello. Now they agree on one. Here's the 1-1. That'll be a breaking ball this time in the dirt. And that had some good break at the end of that pitch. Moving the count now to 1-2. To Sean Dunston. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ooh, a called strike 3. Nicely. Back-to-back strikeouts to end a clean inning as we head to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Otters the score on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank Sinorama Evansville for their support this season. Sinorama Evansville is a multi-application supplier of custom-made signs, banners, and decals in the tri-state. Located at 1300 North Royal Avenue in Evansville, Sinorama is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. They can be reached by phone at 812-477-7763 and can be found online at sinorama.com/in-Evansville. Sinorama Evansville, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
The Tin Fish Restaurant is located at 707 State Street in Newburgh, Indiana. Independently owned and operated, the Tin Fish menu featured salads and sandwiches, as well as seafood platters and combos, and seafood burritos, tacos, and burgers. The Tin Fish Restaurant is open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. They can be reached by phone at 812-490-7000. Visit them online at tinfishnewburgh.com. The Tin Fish Restaurant, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
SRG Global, a Guardian company, would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. Founded in 1932, SRG Global is one of the world's largest manufacturers of chrome-plated plastic parts for the automotive, commercial truck, and household appliance industry. Located locally at 601 North Congress Avenue in Evansville, SRG Global can be found online at srgglobal.com. They can also be reached in Evansville by phone at 812-477-6151.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters Baseball. Dave Gwynn, Bill McCune on the call. First pitch to Riz is upstairs for ball one.
You were bragging about that last strikeout on Dunston, Nicely's curveball, and
1-0 ground ball through the hole on the left side of the infield, and Mike Rizzatello is 2 for 2.
And what did he do?
He attacked.
He attacked the ball, and he hit, like I said, when he's good, he hits the ball to left center. That's twice he's got it. Anyway, getting back to Nicely's ball, Dunston was called twice out on the pitches, not swinging, because 2 of the strikeouts were perfect curveballs. So give Nicely an extra star. And another star goes to Big Mike.
Well, the thing with Mike and what makes him a good defensive catcher, as Hunter Cullen will step to the plate. Hunter's 0 for 1 today. First pitch, he shows bunt and pulls his bat back, and will be called a strike on the outside corner. Mike will call a pitch. If it's been working for a strike, he'll consistently call it.
That's what a catcher does. You line up what a batter's weakness or what you think is.
0-1 bunt.
Beautiful bunt.
Cullen will be...
Keep going, buddy.
The pitcher, Letkeman, thought he had the ball in the glove. He dropped it, tried to tag Cullen for the out. The ball bounced out of the glove. Cullen advances to first safely.
Base hit or error? Okay.
So it'll be ruled another error in this game on the pitcher,
Okay.
Rain Letkeman.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about Big Mike and his call, and I'm going to say you're right. A catcher has to analyze the strengths and the weaknesses of the batter. Not that you're always right, but you got to size up what you think.
Wiechert's now bunts.
What a bunt.
It was a bit high. Throw over to first. Did he get there safe? He did.
He did get there?
Yes, he did,
right,
says the base umpire, Bob Davis, and the bases are loaded again.
I was boxed out, so I didn't see it, so, okay.
So it was an awkward bunt because Wiechert's caught towards the handle of his bat, the lower part of the bat, and it was up by his chin, but he managed to drop it down, and it rolled to the infield grass towards the third base side, and Wiechert's was able to get some speed and get the ball down to first base. It was able to get down to first base in time. The throw from Letkeman was a bit late.
Well,
so another bunt.
What you're saying is so correct. That the only thing that bothered me on that particular play, Dave, was the pitcher who was fielding that bunt.
Cronin swings it, misses, and a breaking ball that goes down and away for strike one.
The pitcher who was fielding that bunt was in the line, and as Tanner was running, he had to avoid the pitcher. Now, if he had hit the pitcher, he would have been automatically out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
0-1.
Well,
will be away for ball one.
The runner can't interfere with a fielder who's fielding a ball, which he was. Even though he had the ball in his hand, he would have been called for interference.
Personally, I would have ran him over, but that's just me.
What? Yeah, but that's an automatic out.
Don't get in my way next time.
Oh. All right. Oh, a meanie.
1-1, line drive to left field. It'll drop in front of Avery for a hit. Coming home is Rizzatello. Throw to the plate is off the mark. An RBI single for David Cronin. He scores Rizzatello, and the Otters extend their lead to 4.
And now you got the runner on third base. The bases are loaded. And Andy, the runner's coming on. He's circling. He hit third base, and he's ready to score. And Andy has Hey, hold it, boy, get back. So that's what you call good managing, and you call good heads up on the player's part to be following the instructions of the third base coach.
Otters playing small ball today, and we talked about it earlier, that Bobby Siegel likes consecutive quality at-bats. The only hard-hit ball that has been hit today by the Otters was the double by Ryan Long.
Yeah.
Everything else has been singles and sac flies for the Otters. First pitch to Grieshaber. Drops in there for a called strike, belt high inside. Count at 0-1. Keith had the first RBI of the game back in the third for the Otters when he scored Tanner Wietrich.
Not to second guess you, but don't forget the first batter for the Otters was Mr. Cronin, and he slapped a line drive to first base that first baseman didn't move. It went right in his glove, but that was one of the hardest hits besides Long's.
Right.
So you're right as far as those were the two best shots so far.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't mean to second guess you,
No,
but I'm just
fair.
expressing my opinion.
Otters scored their runs on singles and sac flies, as well as the RBI double from Long. In this inning, it's been singles so far, and the bunt by Wietrich that occurred earlier has been officially ruled as a single. 0-2 now the count to Keith Grieshaber, who is 1 for 1 with an RBI single and a run scored. The 0-2 pitch swung on, foul down the right field line towards the Otters dugout on the first base side. Count remains at 0-2, and I think Keith knows he kind of went under that pitch a bit. His wrists went under instead of going straight on.
Right, and no matter what the situation happens, Mr. Ryan is going to have a chance to bat in this inning.
Correct, because the bases are still loaded, no outs.
Right.
This next pitch is inside by the knees towards the shin of Grieshaber. Count moves to 1-2 with no outs.
The only way Ryan would be not able to bat is if the other team executes a triple play, and I haven't seen that in years.
I haven't seen it. 1-2, swung on, chopper down the third base line. Throw to home is safe, and that is a successful
foul ball.
Oh.
It's a foul ball.
Well, then why do they play it?
Well, a player executes the play and lets the umpire make the call.
Was it a delayed call then?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's why, if you notice, the runner stopped. That's why he was tagged out, because the runner had stopped. Plus,
I don't know.
Keith didn't ever move that from the home plate.
I thought you were, all right, 1-2, this is completely foul this time, but I thought you were always told to, when you get out of the box, run down to first base, right?
Right, but
I didn't see him run.
No, because the umpire had made the call. So, therefore, he stayed, and that's why the runner on third, when he saw the umpire, he just walked in, and that's when they made the tag. But it was an automatic foul ball.
All right.
I know that steel column out here blocks you.
Correct. This is foul down the right field line. Count remains at 1-2.
They got someone warming up there. A left-hander is warming up. I can't make out a number, single number.
Because the numbers on the powder blue jerseys of the Grizzlies are cream with a navy blue outline. Kind of hard to see from a distance.
Yeah, all I know is a single number.
Okay. 1-2. Did he go?
No.
Says Bob Davis.
No.
To even the count at 2.
You know, sometimes I should get paid for umpiring these games. I'm making these calls from up here. So what do we got, a 3-2 count?
2-2.
2-2 count.
No outs. Otters up 4-0. They scored 3 in the third. Bases remain loaded. On third base is Hunter Cullen. Second base is Tanner Wietrich. On first base is David Cronin with an RBI single. And now the catcher, Cullum, calls time to talk to Rain Lefkeman. Let's see. Today, in 1931, Lou Gehrig is hitless in Detroit. He plays his 1,000th consecutive game. He is 307 feet short of, or 307 games short of Everett Scott's record streak. And this
That hit.
pitch will hit Keith Griesaber. That drives in a run.
Yeah, that's good.
So the Otters will extend their lead to 5-0.
I bet that's the end of this guy.
So trotting over to second base is Cronin. Scoring is Hunter Cullen. To third will be Tanner Wietrich.
And there goes the signal. Bring in that lefty.
We'll take a quick break as there is a pitching change for the Gateway Grizzlies. Back after this on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
Injuries are inevitable. It doesn't matter if you're playing baseball, walking the dog, or falling from a ladder. Injuries happen. When they do, Tri-State Orthopedics offers treatment for sprains, strains, and fractures by medical specialists. Tri-State Orthopedics is located at 225 Cross Lake Drive in Evansville, just north of the Lloyd and I-164. Tri-State Orthopedics can be reached by phone at 812-477-1558. Its urgent care line is 812-474-OUCH. Tri-State Orthopedics, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. There's a pitching change for the Gateway Grizzlies. The Otters are up 4-0. Cronin has, or 5-0, excuse me. Cronin has an RBI single.
Number 4. Seaver.
Not Tom Seaver.
Jason.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then after talking to you off the air, it is an RBI hit by pitch for Keith Griesaber.
Right.
Okay. That might be the oddest phrase I've said this year. An RBI hit by pitch.
Right.
After the other night, it was a walk-off wild pitch.
Yeah.
Against the River City Rascals on Thursday night.
Right. But going back to the controversy on the foul ball, it is so hard for us or anyone to see when these umpires, they give a quick sign, they just raise their hand like a real quick, and so the players could hear it because you can't hear it saying foul ball, and you know, he raises his hands real quick, foul, so the players all see it, but you and I don't know what's happening. So now we've got Mr. Reliable coming up to bat.
Ryan is 1 for 2 with the RBI double, but he was tagged out at home plate.
Oh, that was a beautiful throw.
By Avery in left.
Yeah.
This time the bases are loaded for no outs. Let's see, will Ryan go to right field or left center? We have not seen him go to left in quite a while this year, I should say. Just wants to put contact on this pitch as the lefty Seaver comes in. First pitch will be low and away for ball 1.
Ryan was ready to unload if that was within the strike zone, yes. He attacks the ball, which we talk about. When he attacks the ball and not that low swing, boy, that ball jumps off his bat like that.
This will be foul in front of home plate.
He got the bat underneath, get on top of the ball just a little. That was a breaking
Seaver
pitch.
from Hayward, California.
Who's that, the pitcher?
Yep, from the University of Arizona. Played in the Pacific Association.
Yeah.
The same league as Mike Rizzatello
right.
a few years ago. Seaver will come set, fires a 1-1 to long. It'll be a chopper behind home plate. And that foul ball moves the count to 1-2.
Right, another breaking pitch, and Ryan had just a slight uppercut, just got a piece of it. That's the same pitch that he struck out on the second time at bat when he or first time at bat when he he swung twice and missed it. It was the breaking pitch. So the catcher went looking for an outside pitch.
Check swing from Ryan Long. Did he go? No, he did not. The catcher, Cullum, set up outside.
Yeah.
Ryan did not chase, and it's an even count at 2.
Right.
Elijah McNamee on deck, bases loaded, no outs. Bottom 4, 5-0 Otters over the Grizzlies. Two outside for ball 3 as the plate discipline by Ryan Long is showing right now.
Now, if he was to walk him, that'd be another RBI. So, if Ryan could get a sacrifice fly, a walk, or a base hit, get an RBI.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Payoff pitch. Swinging a drive to right field. Shallow. Woodcock is there. Does Wietrich tag? No, he does not, as the throw to home plate would have been on the money and in time. So a fly out, and there will be out number 1.
Now, that first baseman cut that ball off, did he not?
Yes.
Yes, he didn't go into home. It was cut off by the first baseman, yes.
So the relay would have been in time.
Yeah, well, again, anytime the ball from an outfielder is cut off by a third baseman, first baseman, that means he's got to turn around and also make a perfect throw. It gives the runner an extra step or two. So it's to the runner's advantage. That's what I'm trying to say.
Elijah McNamee to the plate, bases juiced with 1 out. First pitch, breaking ball in the dirt, and the count is now at 1-0 with 1 out. Taylor Lane on deck. This inning started with a Mike Rizzatello single. Hunter Cullen reached on an error by the pitcher Rain Letkeman. The 1-0 in the dirt for ball 2. Then Tanner Wietrich had a bunt laid down the third base line. Was able to reach aboard first base safely on a bunt single. RBI single by Cronin, and then the RBI hit by pitch to Griesaber. McNamee will swing and pop this ball up in the infield. He's very frustrated with himself as that is out number 2.
Now, I don't know if you observed the umpire on the bases. He put his hand up. Infield fly. See, so he was the one to call it. Infield fly, batters out if fair. So automatically killed it. Now he could drop that ball, and the runners could run.
Oh, okay. See? So that's why he had to squeeze in to catch it.
Right.
So now there are 2 outs. Taylor Lane to the plate. Lane had a fielder's or a sac fly to center field to Dunston when he laid out and made a diving catch.
Right, and hurt himself or whatever it was. He needed a few minutes to recoup.
So the first pitch to Lane will be a ball. Count at 1-0. 2 outs the next pitch. Swung on to right field. Drifting foul. Count now even at 1 with 2 outs.
If you notice, I just noticed it last inning when he was he put his glove down and then he walked around and then he picked the glove up. So very unusual what Dunston did out there in center field. And if you notice the color of the glove he's got, that's a bright yellowish or orange type glove.
I want to say orange.
Yeah, and if you look at everybody else, they've got, a normal
tan or
black. Right, but his is really outstanding. The color glows.
Yes. 2-1 to Lane, lifted to right center field. Will that drop? It does, all the way to the right center field wall. Wietrich scores. Cronin scores. Rounding third is Griesaber. Lane's going to go for 3. Can he get there? No. He cannot. But 3 runs will count. A 3 RBI hit by Taylor Lane. And that will be out number 3 as Lane tried to extend his hit to a triple. He's tagged out at third. Otters with a commanding lead as we head to the top of the 5th. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Since 1994, Slay's Restoration has been assisting tri-state residents clean up and restore their properties after disasters of all kinds. Located at 2121 Cotter Avenue in Evansville, Slay's Restoration offers assistance for water damage, fire and smoke damage, mold and biohazard mediation, complete reconstruction, and much more. Slay's Restoration can be reached toll-free 24 hours a day at 1-888-776-8555. It can also be found online at slaysrestoration.com.
Hello, this is Jared McIntosh, and I want to invite you and your family to a very special outdoor musical event. The Praise in the Park event is happening on August 24th from 11 to 1 at the Line Street Church of Christ, located downtown Evansville at 756 Line Street. We're going to have great food, great fun, and some of the best a cappella singing you've heard this side of the Midwest. Join us once again on August 24th at 756 Line Street, downtown Evansville. Praise in the Park.
WUEV listeners, you can catch Evansville Otters baseball this week, Tuesday through Sunday on 91.5 FM WUEV. And remember, the Otters pregame warm-up begins 15 minutes prior to first pitch. You can listen on 91.5 FM, WUEV.org, EvansvilleOtters.com, and through TuneIn Radio. It's Evansville Otters baseball on WUEV.
91.5 WUEV Evansville.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Top 5, 8-0 Otters. After the RBI single by Cronin, and RBI hit by pitch by Keith Griesaber, and a 3 RBI double by Taylor Lane, and the next pitch that to Andrew Daniel will be called strike to even the count at 1. Otters explode offensively back in the bottom of the 4th. The next pitch from Nicely, ground ball down the third base line. Count moves to 1-2 to Daniel.
You know, I'm going to say that Dunston is hurt.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying that is he didn't play that ball that Lane hit very well. I mean, that rolled all the way to the fence, and that's why he was trying to get a triple. I mean, it was a double, yes, but it shouldn't have gotten to the fence.
Well, there's another strikeout for Austin Nicely. That's 3 straight strikeouts for Austin Nicely today for out number 1 here in the top of the 5th.
Gives him 6 strikeouts, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me double check. I'll agree with you for right now. First pitch to Wesley Jones is fouled down the first base line. Count moves to 0-1.
Dunston twice.
The next pitch will be in the dirt for a ball. Count now even at 1 to Wesley Jones. This next pitch is a fastball, drops in there for strike 2, and you could hear the pound of the mitt from Rizzatello all the way up here. The 1-2 will be a breaking ball away. Count now at 2-2 as the 2-seam fastball will be dropping in the dirt from Nicely. Nicely shake off a pitch from Riz. Riz now shakes off a pitch from Nicely, and now there will be a mound visit. So sometimes, I'm sure as a catcher you did that every now and then. Pitcher didn't like the selection you had, then the catcher didn't like the selection that the pitcher had. So now say, hey, let's talk about it.
Let me say this. There wasn't any pitcher that I didn't command. Now that sounds like
this is foul down the third base line.
I'm trying to think what to say myself, but anyway, there was only one pitcher in Eau Claire. He'd come down from AAA. Don Straub, his name was, left-hander.
Next pitch will be a blooping single into center field for Jones. That's a base hit.
He was on our AAA Toronto Oh, boy. Oh. Anyway, he was on the AAA club, Toledo. And he was down to recuperate. He was a World War II fighter pilot, Navy. And he had a lot of seasoning behind him, you know, experience and all. He was the only one that I ever catered to. And only because of his experience.
First pitch will be outside and low for ball one to Cletus Avery. Jones is on first with a single. That's 5 hits this series. And the 7th spot for the Gateway lineup. Next pitch. Fastball in the dirt. Count moves to 2-0 to Cletus Avery, the former Southern Illinois Miner.
You know, just to explain, if I may,
Sure.
what I was trying to say before is, see, a lot of pitchers don't know what they're throwing. They like their curveball and they want to throw it all the time.
2-0, swing and a miss for strike one. And that's the 2-seam that goes away to the right-handed batter.
So really, they think, well, you know, and this is what I get out. Bobby Botts was a pitcher I caught at one time, major leaguer. And Botsy loved to throw his curveball. And I would shake Botsy up and he'd want to throw that curveball. I'd say, okay, you can throw it.
Swing and a miss. There's the curveball right there for strike two.
Botsy didn't have a curveball. So if he shook me off, I didn't mind because it was coming in straight anyway. But he thought he'd say, you know, he'd come into the dugout and say, boy, it really feels good. I'll say, oh, my God, Botsy.
There's the off-speed curveball this time from Austin Nicely. Another strikeout here in the top of the 5th. And to the plate now will be Cullum, the catcher.
That's 7 strikeouts, if I'm not mistaken.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, Botsy come in and say, I really feel good at that curveball. I say, Botsy, it's the best you ever threw. I mean, it's breaking. It's a breaking a foot wide.
Ooh, curveball right in there for strike one.
And he'd say, yeah, I feel it. See? And the ball was just as straight as an arrow.
And that actually had some zip on that one, so it was the fastball in there for strike one.
Botsy was a spot pitcher.
Riz sets up inside. 0-1. Swinging a drive to left field. Grieshaber goes back and makes an outstretched catch for out number 3. Good defense out there by Keith Grieshaber in left. Another clean inning for Austin Nicely. We head to the bottom of the 5th. 8-0 Otters the score on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
It's time for the 5th annual Blues on the Rock, Sunday, September 1st at Rockport City Park. 6 blues bands live on stage 2 p.m. till midnight. Featuring blues rocker Sean Murphy having her CD release party.
There's a place you can find where the sun.
Food, drinks, arts and crafts, and tent camping available. $10 admission. A blues set from Bosco, France.
Evil woman, why you play me for a fool?
Blues on the Rock. Tri-State favorite Jonas Cowan. Beyond Blue, Muddy Gut, and more. Blues on the Rock, Sunday, September 1st at Rockport City Park.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Indiana 811.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. 8-0 Otters as we are in the bottom of the 5th. The Otters exploded for 5 runs back in the bottom of the fourth. They had 3 in the bottom of the third. Dakota Phillips leads things off. And here's a quick roundup scoreboard in the Frontier League. 6-1 Lake Erie over Schaumburg in the bottom of the second. The Miners are leading Joliet in the bottom of the third, 5-2. And the first pitch to Phillips from Seaver is an off-speed pitch in there for strike one.
I hate going to over there to Redmond Park in Marion.
Okay.
For some reason.
0-1. Ground ball. That will be through the hole on the right side of the infield. A single for Dakota Phillips. Third time is a charm for him as he leads off this bottom of the fifth with a base hit.
Somehow we don't have good luck when we play over there. For some reason, I don't know why.
Well, maybe we can change that on Tuesday.
I hope we do because, again, we've got to overcome them. They're the biggest threat we have as far as I'm concerned about playing in the playoffs. But they always end up hitting home runs against us over there. I mean, we might hit one, but they'll hit 3.
To the plate now is Mike Rizzatello. He is 2 for 2. His first pitch. He attacked the breaking ball that went into the dirt from Seaver, and the count goes to 0-1. 2 for 2 with a run scored. Mike had 40 hits entering this game. He's now got 42. 0-1. Line drive to left field, dropping for a base hit. Phillips, can he get to third? Goes all the way to the left field wall. He'll stop at third. A double for Mike Rizzatello. He is 3 for 3.
James, if you're listening, he's doing what we talked about. He's taking that stride. He's hitting the ball out front, not hitting off the back foot. So there's proof tonight, 3 for 3.
And Phil Warren out to talk to his reliever, Seaver. Hunter Cullen to the plate. And that might be the deepest ball Mike has hit today because it rolled all the way to the left field wall in the corner.
Well, I knew it from the time it left. It was a double, but simply because it was down the line. Now, if that was maybe 20 feet more out into the field, it may have been only a single. But, you look at the left fielder where he's at and how far he has to run. I mean, that's a good, I'm going to say good 60 yards that he has to run to get to treat that ball.
To the plate now is Hunter Cullen. Hunter is 0 for 1. He reached on an error back in the fourth on a bunt and later on scored. First pitch to Cullen is away for ball 1.
He's got some bright batting gloves, doesn't he? They look like they're pink.
They are pink, as he had the pink batting gloves for Breast Cancer Awareness Night last night, and they figured, hey, I had 2 hits last night, so let's keep on wearing them.
Oh, okay.
The 1-0. That'll be a pitch on the outside corner, knee-high away from Cullen. It grazes the outside corner for ball 2. No outs. Runners on second and third for the Otters. Seaver will come set. Fires it 2-0. That'll be a breaking ball in the dirt, this time catching the outside corner for strike 1. So Cullen, after 3 pitches, has noticed that Seaver is going away from him each time. So Cullen will step out of the batter's box and now adjust. At least I would hope so. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Another pitch that went away, and the count is even at 2.
The catcher lined up for a low outside pitch, and it's exactly where he got it, a breaking pitch that, unfortunately, Hunter shouldn't have swung at it because it was low outside and bounced in the dirt.
Well, that's the effectiveness of a slider, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a strike all the way, and then in the last minute, it'll tail in the dirt?
Yeah.
Okay. Phillips at third, Rizzatello at second. Phillips singled, Riz doubled. No outs, 2-2 count to Cullen. Here's the pitch. Be slapped foul down the left field line. And Hunter caught the middle part of his bat on that particular pitch.
Yeah, and that was slow and outside as well, and Hunter protected the plate. It might have been called strike 3 if he had let it go. So he did a good thing by protecting that plate at that pitch.
2-2 the count. Hunter in his spare time not only likes to hunt, but he likes to surf as well, as he grew up within walking distance from the beach in California. The 2-2. Outside and low for ball 3.
I hate to say it, but when I was playing, we had a lot of Californians, and you always referred to them as California hot dogs. I really, because they played all year long.
Right.
You know, we're in the East. We only, come March, it was freezing snow on the ground and so on. They played all year.
2-2. Line drive to the second baseman, Daniel.
RBI.
It'll be an RBI ground out off on the now soft liner from Cullen. That'll score Phillips from third. Hunter Cullen with an RBI today. It is now 9-0 Otters.
Harry
Callis?
Malberg. It was former Major League player, Major League coach, and he was managing our Double-A club at Elmira, New York in the Eastern League years ago for the Kansas City Royals. And Harry, being from California, used to say, when I broke spring training, I want nothing but the southern boy or the warm weather boy, the Florida, Arizona, California, because they were all in shape. They came from warm weather. But he says, I'll never win the pennant unless I get the eastern boy, the cold weather boy, because they're just starting to play in June. So
Wietrich to the plate. He has a 1-0 count. Next pitch, swing and a miss. He's out in front of a breaking ball that goes low and away from Seaver. Evening the count at 1. Wietrich today's 1 for 1 with a single and 2 runs scored. He walked in the third, singled in the fourth. Seaver fires at 1-1. Upstairs, a fastball for ball 2.
this guy does not have too much velocity, but he's got good location and breaking pitch. He's getting guys out on.
He enters with a swing and a foul ball. He enters this game, Seaver, with a 2.14 ERA, 45 strikeouts, and 42 innings pitched.
Well, again, that breaking pitch is has him out there as a prospect.
A former Iowa Hawkeye steps in on the right side of the box. Righty-lefty matchup. The pitch from Seaver will be chopped foul into the Grizzlies dugout on the third base side. Count remains even at 2 with 1 out. Wietrich has an interesting story similar to Jacob Adams, where he played his senior season of college baseball and then waited around for a couple of weeks. Got a call. He got a call from Steve Brook, and then he was released from the Rascals after 2 weeks, and then Bobby Siegel said, hey, we might have a spot for you. Because there are times where Ryan Long will need to be in the lineup, but maybe he might need a break at third base every now and then. So that's why Wietrich is there to play not only shortstop, but he can also play third base.
Well, that's good. Good evaluation.
2-2, swing and a miss, or for strike 3. It'll be out number 2 in the inning. To the plate now is David Cronin. Dave is 1 for 2. He has reached base twice on an error and a single. His RBI single back in the 4th helped start a 5-run inning for the Otters.
Well, what the spark plug is good at, and that is getting on base, whether it's a walk, a base hit, being hit by a ball, or whatever. He's very productive.
First pitch on the outside corner, upstairs, chest high, or between chest and belt high, away from Cronin for strike 1.
You know, the Otters have been very, very fortunate in past years to have very good second basemen. And I'm using that in a positive note.
2-1, a called strike 2. So you're saying Cronin and Josh Allen, correct?
Yes, Cronin, Josh Allen, and then you had Frankie Scott, played for us a couple of years in that championship year, 2002. And then you had a guy named Rose that I used to always call Pete Rose.
Oh.
Because he played in the same manner.
Next pitch to Dave is a ball outside. Count at 1-2.
Yeah, his name was Pat Rose, but I called him Pete.
Got it.
You know, when you see the characteristics they perform, you got to call him Pete Rose.
1-2 to Cronin. Away for ball 2.
Now, you should have watched Pete Rose when he played with the
Phillies.
The Phillies.
I wish I was around to watch him.
Used to visit Reading a lot, in case you're interested.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. He had a doctor friend in Reading.
Got it. 2-2. Check swing. Bob Davis says he doesn't go.
Right.
It's now a full count.
Reading was about 90 miles away from Philly.
Yes. Known as Baseball Town, USA.
Reading?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike Schmidt play there, Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins. A lot of Phillies that have come up through the minor league system have played there. Ryan Sandberg. Swung on, hit well to right field. That's going to drop for a hit. An RBI single for David Cronin, I should say. As Mike Rizzatello scores from third. 10 runs on the board for Evansville here in the bottom of the 5th. 2 RBI singles for the spark plug Cronin as Rizzatello trots home from third. Keith Griesaber to the plate. He is 1 for 1 with a walk, a single, and a hit by pitch. 2 RBIs on the day. One of them on an RBI hit by pitch. First pitch to Keith. He goes around for strike 1.
Reading was and is the heart of the Philly minor league system.
Yes.
And the ball club used to belong to Joe Bouzis.
Okay.
Who owned the Salt Lake City team, and he owned the Bristol team.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Bouzis was former major leaguer with the Yankees. And it was one of the best organized, well-kept stadiums that you ever wanted to play in.
Oh, to the count now to Griesaber. Third pitch, ground ball to the second baseman, Daniel. And he'll throw over to first in time for out number 3. Otters tack on 2 more as we head to the top of the 6th. Otters lead 10-0 on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier and Press for their support and coverage of Otters baseball. The Evansville Courier and Press provides news, sports, and weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition. The Evansville Courier and Press can be found online at courierandpress.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. The Evansville Courier and Press, a member of the Journal Media Group.
Heritage Federal Credit Union has 7 full-service branches in both Evansville and Newburgh, serving more than 38,000 members. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Vanderburgh or Warwick County. Heritage Federal Credit Union offers mortgage and consumer loans, checking and savings accounts, as well as online banking for members. Heritage Federal Credit Union can be reached toll-free by phone at 1-800-858-1693. It can also be found online at hfcu.info.
The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tony's. I'm in the mood for pizza
doing it my way. If you don't mind. Frankie doing it my way.
Okay. Welcome back on the air, Bill, as we have a Otters commanding a 10-0 lead here in the top of the 6th.
I wish they scored 10 more, but again, I don't want them overdoing it because I want some of those runs for the Miners.
Oh, don't we all?
Yeah.
They swept us last time here at Bossy Field.
Well, I know it. And Napoleon was riding high on his horse.
Yeah, I'd agree. I have no more comment after that. The first pitch strike on the curveball this time to Connor Owings. Count at 0-1. Owings today is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Next pitch from Nicely. Will be fouled down the third base line. Count now at 0-2. The Grizzlies continue to warm up in the pen.
And Secret Weapon is still here.
That's right.
And he's watching the game, as he always does, cheering for his favorite team.
0-2 is foul behind home plate. I see that he's done with his popcorn. He might need a second one.
Well, yeah, he's got his hand raised. Yeah, he's crawled on the usher. Hey. Yep.
And hopefully a nice ice-cold Sprite.
Oh, boy.
You can agree. 0-2.
You know,
break the ball in the dirt.
Secret Weapon is the same type of fan that the Otters have. They're loyal. They're dedicated. They support the team. They support the players. They support the organization. And come rain or snow like the mailman, they're always here.
Okay. Swung on, ground ball past the diving Phillips, and that'll drop for a base hit for Owings, his second hit of the series to start the top of the 6th. And Secret Weapon has his sunglasses on, looking nice and cool.
Yeah.
There is Brent Sakurai to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Sakurai has 2 singles in the series, one that occurred on a bunt single on Friday night, and the second one occurred last night. Long plays on the edge of the infield grass at third as Sakurai takes a hack for strike one.
Mike got caught on that one. That was, he was late in swinging because his timing was off, and he just got the bat on the ball a little. And that deflected in Mike's hands. You see him shaking his hand. One of the worst things a catcher can do is break a finger or split a finger. And oh my God, I'd rather break 5 fingers than have one of those fingers split, because you could put those metal things on a broken finger and still play. But when it's split,
forget about it.
Oh, you ain't kidding. Painful.
2-1, swung on, hit to left center field. And letting that one drop in front of him is Keith Griesaber. And now back-to-back singles for the Grizzlies as they are down 10-0.
Right. Now, it all depends on the next batter or two. I bet on what Andy does. I'm quite sure if the next batter or two gets on, Andy will have somebody warm up.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
As Calabrese down on in the bullpen, starting to get his catcher's gear on, waiting for the call from Max Peterson on who should warm up.
Okay, because
Nicely has 63 strikes and 21 balls thrown.
But this is a carbon copy of his last time out, is what I'm trying to say. He went 4 or 5 innings of pitching excellent, and then all of a sudden, whether his arm tired or whatever, he ran into a buzzsaw. So let's hope it don't happen again.
And Santa Claus.
And Santa Claus, you're right.
The next pitch is in the dirt for a ball to move the count to 1-0 to Dustin Woodcock. Woodcock had the solo home run Friday night that
jumped
Otters,
out of here.
Yeah, that Otters skipper Andy McCauley did not think was a home run. And from the explanation I got from the clubhouse was the call on the field Friday night was that ball was ruled a double, and then after Grizzlies manager Phil Warren came out, as there's a swing and a miss from Woodcock, count moves to 1-1. After Phil Warren went out and argued that call, it was then changed to a home run. So the reason why McCauley was upset was the fact that the call was changed after it was officially ruled a double.
Well,
swung on, foul territory. Grease Saber might have a chance, and then it rolls into the tent area down the third base line, and the count will move to 1-2. To what count?
I'm going to give a different account. Insofar as, if you notice, the fence is a cyclone fence that covers the outfield. And we have our advertising signs on it. So that's a metal fence. M-E-T-A-L. Metal.
Metal?
Metal. But, but the
swing and a fly ball to center field. Cullen comes under it, makes the catch for out number 1.
But the Bud Light patio is out there. That's wood.
Okay.
So the people that are out there sitting at those tables, that is wood. Now, in my opinion, what happened was it cleared the METAL fence, but hit the wood of one of those, the wood deck out there, and then went up in the air and then come back into the field, meaning that the ball actually left the ballpark. And that's my explanation. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm wrong, but that's the way the umpire called it.
Okay. 1-2 pitch from Austin Nicely. It'll be a breaking ball in. Count now. Will be 1-0 to Luke Lowry. Lowry today is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Runners on first and second for the Grizzlies. They're down 10-0 with 1 out. Top of the 6th. Swinging a ground ball down the third base line. Count even at 1 with 1 out. 10-0 Otters. And after the Otters failed to score at least 1 run on Friday night, they scored 9 last night. They currently have 10 now. They had 9 runs on 11 hits. They have 10 runs now on 10 hits. So if my calculations are correct, that is 19 runs on 21 hits thus far.
Yeah, compared to the other day, they had 10 runs for 36 innings, which meant they didn't score much, and that was counting the Lake Erie, the Rascal series.
So the Otters, after today, will be playing against the Southern Illinois Miners, and it's safe to say that there is a rivalry.
Oh, I'd say so.
I think it's also fair to say that both sides don't like each other a whole lot.
Well, the third base coach that is for the Miners, Steve, is a former Otter, played here as a third baseman.
Oh, that pitch is grazing the outside corner. It will be called a ball. And the count moves to 3-1.
They had a shortstop that made the All-Star team that was a former Otter. They had a second baseman that was a former Otter that made the All-Star team. And they had several pitchers that were Otters.
Ground ball foul down the third baseline.
And it's just ironic that when they go over there and play for the Miners, they have outstanding years.
Now, as a baseball organization, I'm sure they have a solid team, but it's just there's something about the Miners that I've heard about that it's, well, a little different.
Well, the Miners is operated and run by the little General Napoleon himself.
Mike Pinto?
Mike Pinto. He runs the entire organization, and he runs it like it was a minor league farm system. He knows almost every college player. He's got a list in his office of all the college kids, and he has contacts all over the country. And he does. He operates and has full authority. A woman owns the ball club. Some rich millionaire woman owns the ball club. But she's given him full control, and he has done an excellent job.
Nicely will come set the pitch. Fly to right field, dropping for a hit. McNamee will keep the ball in play, and the bases are now loaded for the Grizzlies.
And I would have someone get up and warm up right now.
I think so, too. That's
that's
three
not-
singles for the Grizzlies.
Right.
Owings, Sakurai, and now Lowry. To the plate is Sean Dunston. Oh, excuse me, it is Greg White. So, as you noted earlier, Dunston may have been injured, so playing for him now is Greg White.
Yeah, again, when he made that beautiful catch out there, and he got up on his feet and he just threw that ball, but then he started kneeling down on both knees. And then again, when Lane hit that ball, I knew it was a base hit, but he didn't cover that area as well as he should have, so he had to be hurting.
Bases loaded for the Grizzlies, 10-0 Otters.
And somebody's got to warm up now. Who is that? Number 20, 28?
24, Michael Gizzi.
Okay.
And it nicely throws a first pitch strike. 0-1 the count to Greg White. White is batting .285, 6 hits and 21 at-bats.
Base hit, ground ball would get us out of a double play or, get us out of the inning.
Right. Oh, 1. Ground ball to Cronin. This could be 2. And he bobbles the ball. Throw
Safe,
over to
safe,
first is not
safe,
in time.
Safe.
A run scores.
Error. E4.
That ball looked routine for Cronin.
Well, what happened on that play, what happens so many times to infielders, is they're trying to execute the double play, and they're throwing the ball before they ever have the ball. So the ball is not in their glove, but yet it's being they're anticipating it in a error. So it's, again, it's a hustling error. Put it that way.
Okay. First error of the day for the Otters.
Yeah.
First pitch to Andrew Daniel is swinging a miss for strike 1. Daniel today is 0 for 2 with a strikeout that occurred in the 5th.
I was hoping we get out of that inning, and it'd be nice to have a shutout again for the Otters pitching staff.
Right. 0-1. That drops in there for strike 2. So the bases remain loaded. The RBI, no RBI because it was an error.
Error, no RBI.
So,
no.
but a run does cross.
Yes.
The Grizzlies are not going to be shut out today. The 0-2 pitch from Nicely. Foul behind home plate. Let's see. Today, in 1943, Carl Hubble wins his 253rd and final game, all with the Giants.
Yes.
As he beat the Pirates 3-2.
Yep.
Would retire at the end of the year, take over the farm system for the Giants, which is down to 2 teams due to the war, World War II.
What do you mean down to 2 teams?
I guess they only had 2 minor league teams.
2 minor league teams? Yeah. You know where they had spring training?
I did not.
Down Jersey, down Lakewood.
Oh, yeah?
Well, that's where the owners came from. The Stonehams come from Red Bank, Rumson.
Oh.
In fact, they were still there back in the 50s. And, of course, O'Malley talked them into going to California with them, and that kind of killed it.
0-2 from Nicely. Fly ball popped up in the infield. Phillips is there. And he will make the
my
catch.
goodness.
And made that one look a bit difficult, but
Yeah.
he squeezes that ball in there for out number 2.
Would have made no difference. Infield fly.
2 now in the top of the 6th. 10-1 Otters. And another congratulatory to the happy 45th anniversary to Elliot and Carol Siegel. We appreciate your support, and your sons and your grandchildren love you. Wesley Jones to the plate. He takes a first pitch ball, moving the count to 1-0. Nicely now comes set. Fires a 1-0 pitch. Ground ball to the hole on the left side, a base hit. 1 run scores for the Grizzlies. Here comes another. And that will score in time. Oh, going over to third is White. Scoring is Sakurai as well as Lowry.
Should be a base hit and never.
Yep.
I'd say Max is going to go walking out to talk to him. It gives the pitcher more time to warm up. At least that's my opinion.
Where was the error that occurred?
Right fielder. Big Max out there. He went to field it to throw it to second base, and with that, the ball got through him, and the runners advanced to the extra base.
Okay. So it's one thing to have a 10-run lead. It's another thing to still keep locked in. The Grizzlies start to hit the ball, and it's not that Austin has not pitched well. He's pitched great. It's just the Grizzlies are starting to get around to him.
Well, it's just as similar to his last time at bat. You know, here he had a no-hitter going for 4 innings, and here we are today. He's doing well for 5 innings. But then all of a sudden he lost it, and they started hitting him in the last game and in this game. And that's not to take anything away from him. I think he deserves to win. But you got to recognize his arm got tired. His curveball, which you were raving about earlier, which was an outstanding curveball, is not doing the job that it was intended to.
From the belt.
I would say at the end of this
0-1. That'll be just missing the inside corner. Count now even at 1 to Cletus Avery.
If Nicely does get out of this inning, I think that's going to be his last inning that he'll pitch.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Avery today is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts swinging. Runners on the corners, 2 outs for the Grizzlies. 10-3 to the score. Ground ball, high chopper to long, toss over to first. In there for out number 3. And the Otters get out of the 6th. 3 runs scored by the Grizzlies. 10-3 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network at 91.5 WUEV.
GD Ritzy's is a proud supporter of Evansville Otters Baseball. GD Ritzy's menu features hamburgers, grilled chicken sandwiches, old-fashioned peanut butter and jelly, and ice cream. With 3 Evansville locations, west at 4810 University Drive, on the north side at 4320 North First Avenue, and on the east side at 601 North Green River Road. GD Ritzy's is open from 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. GD Ritzy's, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Chapter 16, would like to take time to say, Go Otters! The IBEW Local 16's jurisdiction includes 13 counties in southwestern Indiana, as well as Wabash County in Illinois. Its members are divided into several categories of electrical work, including inside construction, maintenance electric, residential wiring, and sign classifications. More information on IBEW Local 16 can be found online at ibew16.net.
The Hoosier Lottery began selling lottery tickets on October 13, 1989. Since then, the Hoosier Lottery has offered hundreds of different games, awarded prizes to millions of players, and given billions of dollars to the state of Indiana. The Hoosier Lottery's mission is to responsibly provide innovative and entertaining lottery games for the benefit of the citizens of Indiana. To learn more about the Hoosier Lottery, visit them online at HoosierLottery.com. The Hoosier Lottery, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
And more.
Sundays with Sinatra here at Bossy Field.
Oh, and doing it my way. Oh, my God. What a great singer.
As we are in the bottom of the sixth, 10-3 Otters the score. The Grizzlies tacked on 3 runs after the Otters exploded for 10 from the third to the fifth. We're in the bottom of the sixth. Ryan Long steps to the dish. 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Swing and popped up foul, third base side. Trying to get there is Jones. And he makes the catch with the sun in his eyes.
He got it.
For out number 1.
I'm going to say something that Ryan should stay off that pitch.
That's low and outside?
That low inside.
Okay.
The low inside pitch. And not by his ankle, but down by his thighs or his knees. He has a habit of uppercutting, and the bat is slow. He ought to stay away from that pitch. He pops up to third base too many times.
To the plate is Elijah McNamee. First pitch, drops in there for strike 1. Well, somebody got called out.
Smoking?
The kids nowadays it's called the electronic cigarette, long form, but it's vapes and e-cigs. Personally, I don't do any, but that's what I guess one of the social norms for what's the category? Millennials?
Yeah, I guess that's what they call them today.
Yeah. Ground ball. Sakurai can't get it. It would be a base hit for Elijah McNamee. His first hit of the day. He had a fielder's choice back in the third. McNamee is now 1 for 3 with a single.
Back in 1953, I was playing in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And we were on the first base side, our dugout, and it was kind of on the field, and it had a roof. So we had a bench with a roof, but no dugout like you have now. And in those days, everybody smoked. We'd, as soon as you come off the field.
First pitch to Taylor Lane is in for ball 1.
You come off the field, you have a cigarette. So that was like 9 cigarettes you smoked during the game. And if you got most of us smoking at one time, you had a problem. And this one night.
Swung on, ground ball to Daniel at second. Throws over to first. He'll move McNamee over to second base. They're 2 away now in the bottom of the sixth.
One night, I guess we were all smoking and puffing away and having a great time, and all of a sudden, here comes the fire department. Okay. Somebody, because the smoke was going up over the roof of the dugout, and people thought there was a fire, so they called the fire department. And, of course, that kind of curtailed our smoking after that. I mean, we smoked, but then we didn't.
What did you smoke?
I was a Paul Mahler.
Paul Mahler?
No, Paul Mall. Paul Mall.
Okay.
M-A-L-L. Paul Mall.
And that was a
long Lucky Strike cigarette.
Okay.
It was like a quarter of an inch longer than a Lucky Strike.
Okay.
Lucky Strike went to war, during World War II.
That's right. I'll dabble in the occasional cigar every now and then.
Oh, that's my brother's forte.
So your Jack and I would get along pretty well then.
Yeah.
Next pitch to Phillips is fouled down the first base line, and the count is now even at 2.
But you wouldn't be in my brother's category.
What do you mean?
Well, most of his cigars are anywhere from $10 to $50.
Oh.
And we're in Yuma.
I'm a Monte Cristo kind of guy. Next pitch is upstairs.
We were in Yuma, and my brother just got finished giving me a little lecture about being cheap. I don't know what the situation was. I don't remember, but he called me cheap. Mm-hmm. And later that night, we went to a drugstore at the far end of the town in Yuba.
Swung on, foul down the left field line.
And it was Bill Beck and Jack and I, and he got these second cigars. They were like 25 for $5 or something.
You must have gotten a really good deal, or those cigars must have been really bad.
Well, again, they were seconds. And I said, yeah, you call me cheap. He said, well, no, I'm more economical.
Next pitch to Phillips is inside for a ball. Even count at 2. We have 2 outs, bottom of the 6th, 10-3 Otters. And it started in the 3rd inning. An error by the Grizzlies starter, Rain Letkeman, helped the Otters set the tone and score 3 of their 10 runs in the 3rd. They exploded for 5 in the 4th and tacked on 2 more in the 6th. There's a line drive to center field, base hit. Rounding 3rd and scoring is McNamee. An RBI single for Dakota Phillips. 2 singles in his last 2 at-bats.
And if you notice where that pitch was, low inside, and what did he do? He golfed it. A golf swing, but he was just lucky and got a base hit right over the pitcher's head into center field. He was one of the lucky ones in that particular swing. I'm happy for him, but you know, it's a 99-1 shot you're going to get a base hit.
So 11-3 the score. And here is Mike Rizzatello doing it his way. And the first pitch is in there for strike 1.
Big Mike's got 3 hits already. But that big double was the I think that was the icing on the cake for the Grizzlies.
That's right. Swung on down the first base line. It is foul. And the count will now be even at 1.
Wouldn't that have been something if that stayed in another inch or 2 and went over that bag, and Mike could have gotten a double, maybe even a triple, depending on ricocheting off the bullpen, outer bullpen and whatever. Mike's got good speed.
Fly ball, center field. White is there, makes the catch for out number 3. RBI single by Dakota Phillips extends this Otters lead to 11-3. Back after this.
Now,
on 9-1. Oh, go ahead.
Why is the center fielder? Okay. Did you see what happened?
No.
The center fielder just caught Mike's ball.
Right.
And it was in left center. He went always over to the Bud Light sign or area, and I kept wondering why. Everyone's running off the field. He is running the opposite way. Then he lofted a ball up into the guy right there with the white hat and the dark shirt. He just tossed him the baseball.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah. You see, you got to notice everything goes on in the ballpark.
All right. Well, Michael Gizzi will be in for the Otters. Austin Nicely's day is done.
So you called it. You said Nicely wouldn't come out this inning, and you know your baseball, young man.
Appreciate it. So Nicely's line after Rizzatello was retired in center. 1-run scores. Top 7 here at Bossy Field. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Austin Nicely's line, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs. Only 1 of them were earned. No walks, 7 strikeouts. A solid day for Austin Nicely. And to the mound now will be Michael Gizzi, one of the Otters relievers, a right-hander, who went to 3 colleges in 4 years, including Marshall, and he finished up at Nova Southeastern. Nova standing for Northern Virginia, a smaller college. Let's see.
It'd be what I can't think of the term I'm thinking of.
Junior college?
No, not junior college.
NAIA?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Bill. Today, let's see. Today in 1956, the Cincinnati Reds hit 8 home runs, and the Milwaukee Braves added 2 to set a National League record for 2 clubs in a 9-inning game.
Wow.
So 10 home runs were hit today in Milwaukee for the Braves, not the Brewers. Bob Thurman hit 3 home runs and a double, and that led the Cincinnati Reds 13-4 in a win.
Did Henry Aaron get any of the home runs, or Eddie Matthews?
I'd have to go deeper into the game.
Okay. Well, never mind then. Okay.
No worries. First pitch will be foul behind home plate to Isaiah Cullum. Cullum is 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. Gizzy, 5.92 ERA. And the next pitch drops in there for a strike. 18 strikeouts, 6 walks, and 13.2 innings pitched.
You know, in the early years of Milwaukee switching in 1953, they moved over to, they were the Brewers, and then became the Braves. And, you know, I held that transfer up in case you're interested.
What do you mean?
Well, because I had a AAA contract with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay.
And I never cashed their checks.
Why not?
Well, I didn't need to. And anyway, when the transfer was coming, they asked me, they said, would you please cast your checks? Because
a called strike 3 from Michael Gizzy to Cullum for out number 1 in the 7th.
So the Brewers couldn't cancel out their organization with these outstanding checks, and they asked me would I do it, and I didn't do it. And then they asked me again, and I said, well, I didn't say anything, I just didn't do it. Finally, I got a letter, and it said, if you don't, we're canceling the checks, or, you know, null and void. So finally, I cast them, and then, of course, the transfer went through. But that was one of my distinctions of holding up Major League transfer. But anyway, we had a pretty good organization in those days. Bob Coleman was the prince of the Boston Braves, and then later the Milwaukee Braves. Bob Coleman was the prince because, you know, he managed the Boston Braves. And you know who he replaced?
No.
Casey Stengel.
Oh?
Casey Stengel was walking across the road in Kenmore Square in Boston and got hit by a car. It shattered his leg. So Bob Coleman was a coach and then took over as the manager, and then they fired Casey, and Coleman became the manager. And at that time, Bob Quinn was the owner of the Braves, and his son, John Quinn, was the general manager. And there was such a relationship that Bob Coleman, that later when he got fired as the manager of the Braves, he became the prince, and he was the man that said what?
Foul ball.
An old expression, you know, somebody, when they talk, was it some of the stock company, everybody listens? Well, when Bob Coleman spoke, everybody in the Brave organization listened. He was the power.
Got it. 2-2. Breaking ball in the dirt moves the count full to Owings, who was 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored.
And just for your edification, there was a gentleman that used to visit here quite often. That was the former commissioner of baseball and the former governor of Kentucky.
Oh, yeah?
A.B. Chandler.
Okay.
He was the former commissioner of baseball. There was a walk, but he was the governor of Kentucky, and he used to visit here quite often.
Oh.
Many times I met him in the clubhouse.
Got it. Brent Zachariah to the plate. He's also 1 for 3 with a run scored and a single. Otters will head to Marion, Illinois with a 3-game set with the Southern Illinois Miners starting on Tuesday. We can do a quick check around the Frontier League scoreboard. So the Lake Erie Crushers are defeating the Schaumburg Boomers 9-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Or the Slammers are defeating the Miners 8-6 in the top of the 5th.
Good.
And the Rascals are defeating Florence 4-0 in the top of the 5th.
Good news, yes, good news.
And Windy City and Washington have yet to play.
Okay.
1-0. Ground ball passed long at third. It'll drop for a hit for Sakurai.
You know, you're being a Philly fan. John Quinn, the gentleman I was talking about, later became the general manager of the Phillies.
Oh, yeah?
And that's how I got into scouting.
Oh, wow.
He gave me my first scouting job.
So you owe him.
John Quinn. I wrote him and I said, John, do you remember me? And he said, yes. And he said, I want to get in scouting. He said, Ben Marmer will be in touch with you, and you have a job with the Phillies. And that was my first job, scouting.
Your job was a scouting job with the Phillies?
Yeah, first scouting job was with the Phillies. Yeah.
How long were you with the Phils?
1 year.
Oh.
Then I switched with John Quinn's son-in-law, Roland Heeman.
Okay.
Roland Heeman married one of John's daughters, and still alive. They live in Arizona. Roland is still in baseball. He's with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he just took over with the new expansion California Angels, and he asked me would I go with him, and I said, yeah, heck yes.
Oh, so you then went from the Phillies to the Angels?
Yeah, California Angels, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They weren't the Anaheim Angels yet, were they?
No, they were still playing in the old football stadium.
Okay. Breaking ball in the dirt. Riz keeps the ball in front of him. It's a count now, even at 1.
Yeah.
1 out. Runners on first and second for Gateway. Michael Gizzi in for the Otters. Austin Nicely's day is done. Another solid performance for the left-hander.
In those years, the Angels had a pitcher named Ron Doran.
1-1. Upstairs for ball 2.
Ron Doran used to throw about 100 miles an hour. He wore glasses that you refer to as milk, glasses, a lot of. And he'd come in to relieve, and the first pitch would be up on the scoreboard or up in the screen, and then the second pitch might be wild. And
ground ball. Phillips. The second for 1 to first, and will we get there? No. Let's see. The pitcher Gizzi went to cover the first base bag. Gizzi and Phillips went to go touch the first base bag and said, I can get back in time. A bit of miscommunication out there on the field, and that will allow the batter in Woodcock to reach safely at first.
Well,
I don't know if there would be a error ruled on the field, but definitely
where's the error?
No, definitely a mental mistake.
Oh, yes. Well, no. I'm going to disagree with you, Dave. Okay. The pitcher, Grizzly, he did what he's supposed to. Anytime that ball is hit to the right side, the second or first base, especially the first base, it is the pitcher's responsibility to go over there and cover first base, which he did. Unfortunately, Dakota had gotten back, so that's why he had 2. But no, you can't fault Grizzly for that.
Communication then?
Well, Phillips could have yelled, I got it, and they held him. Again, they might have said it too. We don't know up here. But, no, Grizzly did what he was supposed to.
Okay. So now runners on the corners for the Grizzlies. There are 2 outs. Swinging a drive to left center field. Going back is Cullen to the wall, and that ball is out of here. A 3-run home run by Luke Lowry.
And it's getting to be a close game now.
It is now 11-6.
Yep. And did you notice our outfielders, left field and center field, how they just trotted? They knew that ball was out of here. And I hate to say it, but it's another case of our relief pitchers coming in and giving up home runs.
Otters now lead 11-6. Greg White, to the plate now.
And they still have a few more outs to go before the game's over. So they scored 3 in the 6th. They've got 3 in the 7 now. Game's not over yet.
Not at all. Gizzy will fire from the right side of the rubber. Ground ball. Foul down the third base line. But it's something that you said earlier. It happened at Gateway. The error on the pitcher Leckerman allowed the Otters to score 3.
Right.
Now, error wasn't occurred on the previous play, but it was one of those things where, as the next pitch to White will be bouncing in front of Rizzatello. It's one of those things where the double play, should have been executed earlier.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out, and then the next pitch, Lowry lifts it over the Budweiser sign in left center. So a head scratcher? Is that fair to say? A head scratcher?
Well, I say, yeah, I go along with you. The old thing is you never have enough runs.
Right. Two with 2 outs. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout by Gizzy ends the inning. Grizzlies tack on 3 more to make it an 11-6 game. The 3-run home run by Luke Lowry. We head, as it is stretch time now at Bosse Field. Otters up 11-6 on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
And the new pitcher's coming in.
Got it.
7th inning stretch time. Get up and move.
The 5th annual Blues on the Rock concert will take place on Sunday, September 1st at Rockport City Park in Rockport, Indiana. Gates open at noon, and live music starts at 2 p.m. with Jonas Cowan, Beyond Blue, Bosco France, Muddy Gut, and headliner Sean Murphy. The event will also feature multiple food and drink vendors as well as an art contest. If you'd like more information on the event, you can contact the River Basin Blues Society at evansvilleblues.com or visit the River Basin Blues Society Facebook page.
Paul, do you remember Joe Liss?
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. A 3-run home run by Luke Lowry has made this an 11-6 game in favor of Evansville, but the Grizzlies are not going out without a fight.
No, they 3 runs in the 6th and 3 in the 7th. Who knows what happens in the 8th and the 9th? And I don't want any of those International League rules again. So let's put this team to bed. Okay. But anyway, we were talking about the Phillies, and I'm going to, for those out there in Otterville and the local people, they may recall what I'm going to say.
Joe Liss, go ahead.
Joe Liss. When I was scouting my first year with the Phillies, one of the ball players I scouted was Somerville high school boy who we brought to Philly, and he worked out with the Phillies.
That's right.
And his name was Joe Liss. And Joe Liss later played in the majors, and Joe Liss played here in Otterville. Only at that time it was a AAA team. Joe Liss later settled over in Newburgh. He's unfortunately passed away. He was a good friend of mine. But let me say, I introduced Joe Liss to the Phillies. He went on to sign with the Phillies and was a major leaguer.
That's right. 2 years with the Phillies. a season with the Twins, 2
Yep.
years with the Indians, one
Yep.
with Seattle, and one with the Kinnitsu Buffaloes.
Yeah, but when did he play with the Evansville?
He did?
Played with the, I think it was the Milwaukee, wasn't it? About 79 or something like that? Or around there?
Evansville triplets in 79.
Yep. Hey, how's that? Joe became an insurance man living in Newburgh. Was a good friend of mine. His family is good. He has a son and a daughter that are outstanding. One baseball and the other softball. And Joe was one of the originators with my brother-in-law Joe Unfrey and I that started the Tri-State Hot Stove Baseball League.
Oh.
So Joe was one of the ones that we counted on. Joe ended up being a part-time scout. Besides being an insurance man, he was a part-time scout for the Kansas City Royals.
Passed away in Evansville.
Yes, he did. Maybe 10 years ago, I'd say.
You're good. October 17th, 2010.
Oh, okay.
You got it, Bill.
All right.
Ground ball to Lowry. Can he handle it? Throw over to first. It gets away from the pitcher, Smith. Cullen uses his wheels and gets the second.
Isn't Cullen so lucky? He always seems to get on base with errors or whatever, mistakes.
He takes advantage of him, that's for sure.
That's right. Yeah. Joe was... Joe's mother was quite outspoken, in case you're interested. when you went to the game and covered Joe and when he was in high school, boy, she let all the scouts know her son was the best ball player in that field, and she she didn't hold anything back. And Joe was the same way, put it that way. His personality was like his mother's.
To the plate now is Tanner Wietrich. Cullen on second base after the throwing mistake by the pitcher Smith. And Wietrich will take a first pitch strike, counted 0-1. So it'll be ruled an error on the first baseman. So E3 on the play. Cullen now at second base. Second time he's reached on an error. The 0-1. Ground ball to the second baseman, Daniel. They'll throw over to first. One away.
Well, that's good hitting on Tanner's part. You always want to hit runners on second. You want to hit the ball to second baseman so the runner can advance to third, set him up into a position of scoring. So give Tanner a star.
To the plate now is David Cronin. Dave is 2 for 3. He's reached base in 3 of his 4 plate appearances. 2 RBI singles. He also reached on an error and scored a run. 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored for Dave. First pitch outside for ball 1.
And a team is playing in. Gateway Infield is playing in.
Trying to hold Cullen at third. Swung on, foul down the left field line. Count now even at 1.
The closer you play to the bat, it limits your range to go into your right and left.
We also have a right-hander reliever, a newly acquired reliever for the Otters, and Trace Norkus warming up in the Otters pen.
This is the guy I was telling you about. I saw in the out in the lobby, and I said he had a beard, and you were trying to describe who he was, and then all of a sudden here he comes the other night, and there he's pitching again. And he does have that awkward. Didn't he make a bad throw to, pitch that a runner scored or something?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Cronin fouls this one down the left field line. Count at 1-2. Bottom of the 7th, 11-6 Otters. You remember Branch Rickey, right?
I know Brent. I mean, let me put it this way. Yes, I was in Mr. Rickey's office when he was the the general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
11-6 the score. Cronin is out on a called strike 3. Doesn't like it, and he trots back to the Otters dugout.
I worked out with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and they put me up in the hotel there, the famous hotel in Brooklyn with the swimming pool. And I met Mr. Rickey. I talked to him, and later I had the opportunity to meet him again when he was general manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and of course he sent me home. They sent for me to work out in Pittsburgh with Ralph Kiner and them. Excuse me. And I went with a pitcher that was outstanding, that was over $30,000. And as we took the train and went to Pittsburgh.
First pitch to Keith Griesabers, down and away for ball 1.
We got to Pittsburgh and we were told to be out at the field like at 10 o'clock. The game was at 1. And the pitcher I was with says, oh, wait a minute, they sent for us there. They'll take their time. Well,
ground ball to the second baseman, Daniel. Throws over to first. Cullen is stranded at third after the final out of the inning. We head to the 8th. 11-6 Otters the score on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
Why Old National Bank? Old National Bank began in 1834 with just one room and a passion for helping people prosper. Today, we are honored and grateful to be the financial partner for so many businesses, families, and individuals like you. From our commitment to safety and security to our promise of service that will exceed your expectations, we want to be your bank for life. Old National Bank, member FDIC.
This Evansville Otters broadcast is made possible through support from New Image Travel. New Image Travel provides motor coach charter service to the United States and Canada with pickup within a 150-mile radius of Evansville. A full list of New Image Travel's offerings can be found online at newimagecharter.com. New Image Travel can be reached toll-free at 1-800-432-6213. New Image Travel, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
The National Weather Service in Paducah has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern White County in southeastern Illinois, eastern Wayne County in south-central Illinois, Wabash County in southeastern Illinois, Edwards County in southeastern Illinois, until 3:45 p.m. At 3:13 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located near Albion, moving east at 25 miles per hour. Expected hazards include 60 miles per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Mount Carmel, Albion, Grayville, Lancaster, West Salem, Allendale, Belmont, Bone Gap, Kingsburg, Browns, Mount Erie, Golden Gate, and Burn Prairie. This includes Interstate 64 in Illinois between mile markers 115 and 130. Repeating, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 3:45 p.m. for the following counties in Illinois: Edwards, Wabash, and White.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Otters up 11-6, and making his first appearance in Evansville is the newly acquired reliever Trace Norcus.
When did we get him?
A couple days ago.
Oh, gee.
And remember when we acquired Quintana?
Yeah.
We also signed Norcus.
Oh. Well, who did we let go? We can't.
Remember the man who made his only start for the Otters last Sunday, the new guy?
Oh, yeah.
We then traded him to Joliet.
Oh.
Yep. Andrew Daniels to the plate, and this second pitch, from Norcus Sails over the glove of Rizzatello to even the count at 1 to Andrew Daniel. Norcus from Hillsborough Beach, Alabama. And
he's got mustard, but I don't know about his control. Again, he's only thrown a couple, but he's got the velocity.
My bad. It is Hillsborough Beach in Florida. He went to school at the University of North Florida. I was about to say, I don't think there are any beaches in Alabama.
Yeah, there is.
There is?
Yeah.
You've been to a few?
No, but I'm trying to think. Going into, let me see what I'm trying to say.
Fastball will drop in there from Norcus.
Where the USS Alabama is, Mobile. Mobile. That's what I'm trying to think. Mobile.
Okay.
That's where the USS Alabama is parked. And
Norcus comes set, fires a 2-2. Foul behind home plate.
And you go into, from there, you go into Louisiana. Louisiana. Wait a minute. Oh, I've traveled that so many times, and now I'm getting mixed up. Cross over the bridge, and there's the Alabama, USS Alabama. Now
3-2, away for ball 4.
Yeah.
To the plate now is Mr. Jones, Wesley Jones. Jones is 2 for 3 today. Jones has 6 hits in the series, all of them singles. He is 6 for 11.
There goes Mike out to talk to him. Again, like I said, his control is not there. He's got the velocity, but he hasn't got the command. Of course, now let's allow that he's new in new city, new ballpark.
Hasn't pitched in quite a while, too.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Oh.
He just graduated college.
Oh.
Back in June.
Yeah. Well, he might have been pitching on the side, but with no active activity, that's kind of rough.
1-0 drops in there for strike 1.
I don't remember the guy's name, but back in we were the Boston Braves in those days, and we had this pitcher that was, oh my God, maybe throwing 150 miles an hour. He was so great, and he'd get in the sideline, warm up in the bullpen.
1-1. Popped foul to move the count to 1-2.
He'd be in the bullpen, and like I said, 100 miles an hour was nothing. The minute he walked across that line on first base, he was not the same pitcher. And the Braves kept him for 10 years. They sent him to psychiatrists. He was 2 different pitchers, one in the bullpen and one on the mound.
1-2. Liner right back at Norcus. Trying to play that ball as Cronin. He won't be able to toss it to first.
I'd say I'd go out and look at him right now, to all time, and look at him.
As he hopes to be all right. That was a line shot, a little awkward on the arm of Norcus.
Yeah, he got that on his pitching arm, too. Yeah, this pitcher with the Braves, I mean, he was outstanding in the bullpen. But the minute he crossed that fair foul line at first base, psychologically, he was a pitcher. They finally let him go after 10 years. I mean,
And it seems that Norcus might be all right. He'll throw a couple warm-up tosses to Rizzatello. So the Otters scored 3 in the third, 5 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 1 more in the sixth. In the third, they sent 7 men to the plate. In the fourth, they sent 8 men to the plate. In the fifth, they sent 6 men to the plate.
Oh, it looks like he's got this velocity. So whatever it was, it's not hurting him.
The Grizzlies will have runners on first and second, still with no outs. Top of the 8th. A ground ball can help out Norcas' cause in his first inning in Evansville, or rather first appearance. To the plate is Cletus Avery, who is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. A ground out back in the 6th. Nicely went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 of them was earned. He also threw 7 strikeouts, no walks. Line drive to the left field, dropping for a base hit, and the bases are loaded for the Grizzlies.
Do we have someone warming up?
Stretching now, yes, is the man from West Point, Mr. Cam.
Oh, okay, the soldier boy. Okay. Yeah.
So a walk and back-to-back singles have loaded the bases for the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Isaiah Cullum to the plate. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Flied out to left field in the 5th. And there's a first pitch breaking ball from Norcas for ball 1.
That was a sharp breaking slider low outside, but did show some good life to it.
And then he struck out looking back in the 7th. Next pitch. Foul down the right first base line. Can Phillips get there? And he runs out of room. It's a foul ball. Count now even at 1. No outs, bases loaded for the Grizzlies. (11-6) Otters. A possible important sequence right here.
I'm going to say the next couple pitchers is going to determine his future.
1-1. Foul behind home plate.
And that was a breaking pitch. That was another slider. I couldn't believe it. Well, actually, possibly he's got more command of his slider than he does his fastball. We'll see on this pitch. It's 0-2, right? Or 2-1.
1-2.
1-2.
Next pitch.
Yeah. There goes that slider again.
It'll be a way to even the count at 2.
Right. So three of the 4 pitches have been sliders. That was a
foul ball.
Fastball down the middle. That was a strike.
Cullum hitting .066 on the year. He's 1 for 15. Entered today. The 2-2 from Norcas.
Ooh.
And a good block there by Riz.
Saved a run.
To make the count full.
3-2. He saved a run on that. Again, that's why I like him as a defensive catcher. His agility behind the plate is just unquestionable. Cat-like actions.
Swing and a miss. There's a big strikeout, a fastball from Norcas to Cullum for the first out.
That might have been ball 4, up and away. That you always keep saying that fastball.
And Max Peterson is going to go out to talk to him.
Yeah. That's the end of him.
And there will be a pitching change. Cam Opp to the plate, who will face the lefty Connor Owings. So I asked you off the air if you remember Branch Rickey, Bill.
Yes.
Today in 1959, Branch Rickey resigns as chairman of the Pirates to become president of the Continental League, which never plays a game. Explain.
The Continental League was supposed to be ex-major leaguers. They were supposed to play in Japan, and Johnny Mize was one of the managers, and it was from Evansville had one of the teams. And it was some guy from, they say Evansville, but I think they kept saying he was from Kentucky. But anyway, it was supposed to have been a war hero. I'm going on my memory now of this 50 years, whatever. And he's supposed to have been a war hero, and he somehow got people invested into it. And they went to spring training, and unbelievably, Johnny Mize was then, I don't remember what club he had, but he was down in Jacksonville, and they all got stranded. I mean, some of the teams were in Australia because it was a world-type league, Japan, Australia. Some of those teams were stranded with no money. So how they got back was on their own. I mean, young people that were looking to play in that league, it cost them their life savings. It never got off the ground. You could check it. It was an Evansville guy that had the team here. It was one of the teams.
So I noted to you earlier, thank you for the explanation about the Continental League. I appreciate it, as well as the audience.
Yeah.
I noted to you earlier that the Slammers had an 8-2 lead against the Miners.
Right.
Now in the bottom of the sixth, the Miners have retaken the lead. It is 9-8.
Oh, gee.
And in the rubber match between the Florence Freedom and the River City Rascals,
Florence was losing.
They continue to be down by a score of 6-1 in the bottom of the sixth at home.
Okay.
Gateway Gateway, yes, is keeping this game interesting right now. The Slammers can still score 2 more runs against the Miners. It is in the bottom of the sixth at Joliet. And 10-2 Lake Erie over Schaumburg. First pitch, it gets away from Rizzatello. And the ball will be a count of 1-0. Cam Opp back on the mound for the Otters. The aspiring, he wants to be a helicopter pilot in the Army.
Second lieutenant.
1-0. That'll be a fastball down and away for ball 2. Owings, 1 for 3 with a single, a walk, 2 runs scored. 2-0. Right on the outside corner for strike 1. Fastball drops in there. Count moves now to 2-1 with 1 out. Fastball, slider, curveball, but he's been working on his cutter. It's probably his most effective pitch.
Well, he's done a pretty good job coming in. And
2-1. Fouled down the left field line.
Seemed to have gotten a couple key strikeouts when the Otters needed it to get out of different innings. And I'll say he's been one of the saviors as far as the bullpen's concerned.
Oh, I've said that before to him in the clubhouse and said, your strikeouts have come up in big spots.
Yeah. Between him and Wright coming out of the, being the finisher, there you go.
Swing and a miss. There's a strikeout we're talking about from Cam Opp.
Yeah, exactly. But between him and Wright, they're the 2 most effective guys coming out of that bullpen.
Brent Sakurai to the plate. 2 for 4 today with 2 singles and a run scored. Bases remain loaded for Gateway. First pitch from Opp. Check swing. He goes around for strike 1.
Yeah. See now, generally, the umpire, just a point of information, the umpire generally give you the right sign, arm going out saying strike. You notice he just wiggled his finger with the right hand. I've never seen that before.
Kind of like around the horn.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
0-1. Fastball on the outside corner for strike two.
Now he gave you the right hand. Yeah. And he pointed out two. He went two, for 2 strikes, yeah.
Now let's see. Will he go with one of these?
Yeah.
First 3?
Let's hope so. He might go with the fist.
0-2. Swing and a miss, and that will be strike 3. Nope, a foul tip into the glove. He does go with the fist.
And he did go with the fist. Boy, oh boy.
Back-to-back strikeouts by Cam Opp, and that will end the Gateway threat, who started with the bases loaded with no outs. Bottom of the 8th, 11-6 Otters the score on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank Sinorama Evansville for their support this season. Sinorama Evansville is a multi-application supplier of custom-made signs, banners, and decals in the tri-state. Located at 1300 North Royal Avenue in Evansville, Sinorama is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. They can be reached by phone at 812-477-7763 and can be found online at sinorama.com/in-Evansville. Sinorama Evansville, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
The local Pepsi bottling group features Pepsi Company products for distribution to retailers and vendors in the tri-state and would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. The Pepsi bottling group has locations at 2605 West Marion Street in Marion, Illinois, 3081 Contronics Drive in Owensboro, Kentucky, and 11733 West Industrial Park Drive in Elberfeld, Indiana. Information on Pepsi products can be found online at PepsiCo.com. Pepsi, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
WUEV listeners, you can catch Evansville Otters baseball this week, Tuesday through Sunday on 91.5 FM WUEV. And remember, the Otters pregame warm-up begins 15 minutes prior to first pitch. You can listen on 91.5 FM, WUEV.org, EvansvilleOtters.com, and through TuneIn Radio. It's Evansville Otters baseball on WUEV.
On a Sunday afternoon at Bossy Field.
Now, what's the umpire coming over to the dugout for?
I don't know.
The home plate umpire is in the dugout. The field umpire just came over.
Oh, the home plate umpire might be dehydrated.
He's in the dugout. The home plate umpire's down in the outer dugout.
He might be dehydrated or
something like that. The trainer's over there, and the field umpire,
or maybe a little unconscious.
Right. I wonder now if the field umpire is going into the locker room to put his equipment on. Now, what happens to the field umpire?
I don't know. I think it might be best to go to a quick commercial break. And we'll find out. We hope the umpire and Dennis Freck will be all right. Back after this on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Injuries are inevitable. It doesn't matter if you're playing baseball, walking the dog, or falling from a ladder. Injuries happen. When they do, Tri-State Orthopedics offers treatment for sprains, strains, and fractures by medical specialists. Tri-State Orthopedics is located at 225 Cross Lake Drive in Evansville, just north of the Lloyd and I-164. Tri-State Orthopedics can be reached by phone at 812-477-1558. Its urgent care line is 812-474-OUCH. Tri-State Orthopedics, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Hello, this is Jared McIntosh, and I want to invite you and your family to a very special outdoor musical event. The Praise in the Park event is happening on August 24th from 11 to 1 at the Line Street Church of Christ, located downtown Evansville at 756 Line Street. We're going to have great food, great fun, and some of the best a cappella singing you've heard this side of the Midwest. Join us once again on August 24th at 756 Line Street, downtown Evansville. Praise in the Park.
The Tin Fish Restaurant is located at 707 State Street in Newburgh, Indiana. Independently owned and operated, the Tin Fish menu featured salads and sandwiches, as well as seafood platters and combos and seafood burritos, tacos, and burgers. The Tin Fish Restaurant is open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. They can be reached by phone at 812-490-7000. Visit them online at tinfishnewburgh.com. The Tin Fish Restaurant, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
This is a public service announcement test from TakeMeFishing.org to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before heading out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a bear? Do you have a beak? Do you have plumage? Please tell me you answered no, which means you need to get a fishing license and have your boat registered, because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at TakeMeFishing.org.
At the University of Evansville, you will receive an academic scholarship. You will be taught by talented, engaged professors committed to your success.
We will help you change the world.
You will have the opportunity to study abroad.
UE will change your life.
This is a place where we change the world. Come change it with us.
It's time for the 5th annual Blues on the Rock, Sunday, September 1st at Rockport City Park. 6 blues bands live on stage 2 p.m. till midnight, featuring blues rocker Sean Murphy having her CD release party.
There's a place you can find where the sun.
Food, drinks, arts and crafts, and tent camping available. $10 admission. A blues set from Boston, France.
Why you play me for a fool?
Blues on the Rock. Tri-State favorite Jonas Cowan. Beyond Blue, Muddy Gut, and more. Blues on the Rock, Sunday, September 1st at Rockport City Park.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Pat Coslett's Simplicity Furniture, located at 1309 North Green River Road in Evansville, will host a night of free comedy and music for patrons age 18 and older on Friday, August 23rd, 2019 at 8 p.m. The evening will begin with stand-up comedy from Todd Yohn, followed by a performance from Yohn's band, The Prom Babies. If you would like more information on the event, Pat Coslett's Simplicity Furniture's phone number is 812-909-3970. That's Pat Coslett's Simplicity Furniture at 1309 North Green River Road in Evansville.
The University of Evansville bookstore, located on the first floor of UE's Ridgeway Center, is your one-stop shop for University of Evansville apparel and gifts. J America and Cotton Exchange. The bookstore is open Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30, and Saturday, 10 to 2. Parking is available on Walnut Street and in UE's H-Lot. The UE bookstore can also be found on the web at evansville.bkstr.com. The University of Evansville bookstore.
WUEV listeners, you can catch Evansville Otters baseball this week, Tuesday through Sunday on 91.5 FM WUEV. And remember, the Otters pregame warm-up begins 15 minutes prior to first pitch. You can listen on 91.5 FM, WUEV.org, EvansvilleOtters.com, and through TuneIn Radio. It's Evansville Otters baseball on WUEV.
Thank you, Paul.
Sundays with Sinatra here at Bossy Field.
Oh, and doing it my way. Oh, my God. What a great thing.
Well, we will be resuming play momentarily. And apparently one of the umpires, I guess heat exhaustion, dehydration. It is hot out there. Temperature came in with a high of 93, but it felt like probably 96, 97 out there.
Yeah, and the umpire, I didn't see him go over to the dugout, but I did notice that, you know, when people started kind of like nobody knows what's going on, then all of a sudden you see down there and they...
The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for White County, southeastern Illinois, northeast Saline County, until 4:30 p.m. At 3:41 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located near McLeansboro, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Expected hazards include 60 miles per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roof, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Carmine, El Dorado, McLeansboro, Grayville, Warren City, Galatia, Ridgeway, Crossville, Enfield, New Haven, Raleigh, Omaha, Mill Shoals, Broughton, Money, Spring Judas, Belle Prairie City, Burnt Prairie, and Jamestown. This includes Interstate 64 in Illinois between mile markers 117 and 130. Repeating, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 4:30 p.m. for the following counties in Illinois: Gallatin, Hamilton, Saline, and Washington.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I think we're off the air.
Something in the way you go when you're out.
Thank you. Oh, and we're back now.
Oh, okay. 3-1 count on Ryan. And again, we got a 3-1 count. If it's ball 4, I'm going to say the umpire has to go behind home. Wow.
This ball's ripped to right field. Another hit for Ryan Long.
Another double.
And he'll...
a triple. Go. Go.
Here he goes. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Ryan Long with a triple. His second of this homestand.
Right, and he didn't have to slide. He just went in there cruising and...
cruising on a Sunday afternoon.
The National Weather Service in Paducah has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Wabash County in southeastern Illinois, eastern Edwards County in southeastern Illinois, Gibson County in southwestern Indiana, northeastern Posey County in southwestern Indiana, until 4:30 p.m. At 3:44 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Grayville, or 8 miles southeast of Albion, moving east at 15 miles per hour. Expected hazards include 60 miles per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roof, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Princeton, Mount Carmel, Fort Branch, Albion, Grayville, Lancaster, Hopscotch, Owensville, Poseville, West Salem, Patoka, Cynthiana, Allendale, Belmont, Hazleton, Decker, Bone Gap, Keensburg, Griffin, and Browns. This includes Interstate 64 in Indiana between mile markers 1 and 15. Repeating, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 4:30 p.m. for the following counties in Illinois, Edwards and Wabash, and the following counties in Indiana, Gibson and Posey.
RBI triple last night.
Right.
And the 3 RBI double.
Right. Isn't this that's the one?
All right, we're back on. Thanks, Paul. And apparently there's some severe weather possibly coming to the Midwest, particularly in this area. Now, when I did check the forecast, there was a chance of rain.
There was.
But I think we're hoping to finish out the game.
Where's it coming from? Kansas City, St. Louis area?
Possibly. Not too sure. Lane will swing at this one. It's to right field, dropping for an out. And the throw from, wow, what an arm by Woodcock in right field.
Well, we just saw several Woodcock, perfect throw to home on that one. And then earlier, we saw Avery throw Ryan out on a perfect throw. And then we saw Dunston throw a perfect throw to third base when he was injured. So I'm going to say I'm not going to take that extra base on these guys.
Phillips today is 2 for 4 with 2 singles, one of them for an RBI. They take a first pitch strike from Grant Black, the setup man. Actually, yes, Grant Black, the setup.
Yeah, he was in the other night. Yeah, he's the guy with the beard.
Yes, a thick one. Ooh, yeah, Phillips golfed at that one for a strike 2.
Same swing. Oh, there comes the umpire.
The base umpire.
Yeah, but that's a different one. I don't think that's the same guy, is it?
It is.
It
is?
He
gets a round of applause from the crowd.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, good. I'm glad. Anyway, getting back to Phillips, that's the same kind of swing you got the base hit on last time.
0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. To the top of the 9th, Otters have an 11-6 lead. Back after this. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball, 91.5 WUEV, and the Otters Digital Network.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Indiana 811.
The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tyroni's. I'm in the mood for pizza and I'm ready to go. The Pizza Brick Road goes to Tyroni's. So follow me down the Pizza Brick Road. Road down to Tyroni's. The Pizza Brick Road. The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tyroni's.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier and Press for their support and coverage of Otters baseball. The Evansville Courier and Press provides news, sports, and weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition. The Evansville Courier and Press can be found online at courierandpress.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. The Evansville Courier and Press, a member of the Journal Media Group.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters Baseball. Top 9. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Otters up 11-6. Cam Ott back on the mound to finish the game off for the Otters.
Yeah, did an excellent job coming in that last inning. He put out the fire. He was the fireman.
So an Armyman, a fireman, a helicopterman.
Yeah, and a second lieutenant.
All right.
Well, if he graduated from West Point, he automatically became a second lieutenant.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Dustin Woodcock will step to the dish. He is 0 for 3 with a fielder's choice and a run scored. First pitch is foul down the left field line. 0-1 the count. And do you mind relaying the weather report?
Well, there is a storm possibly coming into Carbondale, but it may not reach our area. But again, it's in the Carbondale area.
And where's Carbondale?
Illinois.
Okay. 0-2 the count after the swing and miss to Woodcock.
Didn't you go to, didn't your college have ROTC?
They did. I didn't join.
Well, no, but if you were, you would, there's a strikeout.
Third straight strikeout for Cam Opp. There's one away in the ninth.
If you did, you would have gone to summer camp, and upon graduation, you've been awarded a second lieutenant rating.
Oh.
So, that's what they call the shave. And then, of course, not too long later, being a West Pointer, he probably in 6 months would be a first lieutenant.
I don't know if I have the physique to be in ROTC.
No.
I'm just being honest.
Well,
first pitch now, as we have a new batter for Luke Lowry. It'll be number 10.
They have ROTC here in Central High School, and it's a pretty good program.
Taylor will lift this pitch to left field for out number 2.
Yeah. So
as Zach Taylor came in to pinch hit.
Yeah. So getting back, Central High School has a ROTC program, really good. And I'm telling you about my nephew who was a helicopter pilot, or my nephew's, my niece's son. I got to get it straight. My niece's son, who was a helicopter, and he was in that ROTC program in Central, and he ended up, as a captain. Flew helicopters in Afghanistan.
Ground ball, Opp with an outstretched glove, toss over to first, and that ends the game. A little athleticism for the man from West Point, and the Otters win the series against the Gateway Grizzlies. How about that outstretched arm and athleticism from Cam Opp?
I'll say, well, he's a soldier. He probably stretched that arm when he was in West Point. He probably reached for the extra sandwich.
Let's do a quick round on the Frontier League scoreboard. The Otters today defeat the Gateway Grizzlies in the rubber match. 11 runs scored on 13 hits, 2 errors, 6 runs for Gateway on 10 hits, and 3 errors. The Otters will take a day off before they head to Southern Illinois to take on the Miners. And we check the Frontier League scoreboard. Lake Erie all over Schaumburg, 11-2 in Schaumburg, Illinois. Bottom of the 8th, 9-8 Miners over the Slammers in Joliet. Top of the 8th, 7-1 Rascals all over in Florence, Kentucky. And the game has yet to start between the Thunderbolts and Wild Things in in Washington, Pennsylvania. Bill?
Beautiful afternoon.
The Otters won the homestand. That's the most important thing. They won an important series against the Rascals. And then they followed that up scoring, they had 9 yesterday. They scored 11 today, so 20 runs. 11 hits yesterday, 13 today, so 20 runs on 24 hits. That sounds like a winning formula to me.
I'll say, and again, how many times can I repeat myself as far as Mr. Old Reliable there,
Brian Long.
Brian Long, insofar as getting that stroke back, that RBI stroke, 2 doubles tonight, and he's really been a great asset in this particular series, not only with the Gateway, but the series before, and that's what the Otters need. I mean, the others got to come up and play do their part, just like he is. And again, outstanding starting pitching. Outstanding starting pitching.
Well, that'll be the final score today. Anything else you would like to add?
Oh, I just wish you guys looking at that place that I don't care for, Marion, where Redwood Stadium, where the fans they jump on the dugout and make all kinds of noise, and they're always holding up the game with all kinds of promotions and having the restroom in the dugout.
Okay. Well, for the Dr. Bill McCune and our radio engineer, Mr. Paul Mattingly, I'm Dave Nguyen. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And remember, go Otters. Ground ball. With half glove on over to first.